Tonight on the podcast, we talk about Lance's quest to find his dignity. Spoiler alert, he never found it. Welcome to my party. We're just getting started. A life is a dream. It is Friday night in Phoenix, and you're locked in to, I can't say the best damn podcast in all the links. We haven't been on for like 3 months, but it's the Absolute Geek Podcast. I'm Matt.
I am Lance.
See, we're out of sync. We forgot how to do this, man.
I did it right. You said I'm Matt.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Shouldn't have left you.
I know. I feel bad.
Need to step two. Yes. Sorry, it's been such a long time. To all two of you watching, but you know, life happens. Crazy things happen. People dip out on you for no reason. The echo from my empty room is really driving me insane.
Yeah, you guys are moving.
We are
found a buyer for the house.
Yep. So we're moving at the end of the month, but we were supposed to be moving this weekend, but that kind of changed. So everything I own is in boxes behind me. But
look how bare that wall is.
I know. Miss my little.
You know what I'm dreading? Like when we move, dude, is the amount of fucking spackle that I'm gonna have to do in this room.
Yeah. Probably.
Like yours were just little pictures. I fucking put gigantic ass holes for shelves in my wall.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call them little pictures, but
well, I know, but it takes like a nail or like one little screw.
Yeah,
you know, I put anchors and shit in my wall. A lot of weight, but dude, I'm excited for some. I want to move so bad, but I want to. Erin, she asked if I'm moving as well. We've been talking about it. We're just waiting for fucking interest rates and all that shit to go down.
Good luck.
I know it's gonna be a while, but yeah, we need a bigger casa, and I want a yard, like a big yard, not this little fucking dinky yard that we have.
I just want a yard where my dog can go out and not come in like a fucking heathen and be covered in dirt, because that's what our backyard is, all dirt. The new house, it's got turf on it.
We spent a bunch of money on doing our backyard a couple years ago. Got grass and a fire pit and put some pavers down and stuff. So I don't have that issue anymore. But back in the day, we did.
Nice. So tonight we're just doing a watered down version of the show. We've been gone for a while. We just wanted to get together and talk about some big things that happened this week. We got the release, or well, I should say last week, we got the release of Across the Spider-Verse, and we said goodbye to my all-time favorite show that I hope, beyond hope, it's not actually goodbye, in Ted Lasso.
It's goodbye-ish.
So, Ish, where's Ish? You got better, his internet's fixed? No, because his internet is AIDS. No amount of every other week pills can fucking save Ish's internet. So,
dude, guess what I just read?
What?
Danny Masterson sentences 30 years to life.
He got sentenced already? I thought he was found guilty and could face up to 30 years. He got sentenced already?
This is from 7 hours ago. This is on the website. I've never heard of this. No, so you know how with Microsoft you open a new web page and it takes you to MSN?
Yeah.
But what you don't realize is that MSN pulls articles from, so the actual source is Trendy Matter, and I've never heard of them. So it could or couldn't be true. But here it's saying spending 30 years to life.
No, if you got to check TMZ for that. So there's nothing on TMZ about it. I know he was found guilty and that he could face up to 30 years, but there's nothing about it on TMZ.
Don't you think he's going to appeal?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. especially since his first, I think it wasn't his first trial, a mistrial.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and
I'm
they
sure
already, so there was 3 people that accused him, and I just want to preface before I say this next thing, like, more power to people, victims and all that stuff. So none of this is supposed to be pro the aggressor in this situation, but he had 3 people accuse him. One, they found there was 0 evidence supporting it. So 2 of the 3 are the only ones that he's being sentenced for. He's got a lot of money. He can get good lawyers and stuff. So we'll see. I mean, we saw Bill Cosby. Isn't Bill Cosby out of jail right now?
I don't know if he's out or not.
But I mean, what Bill
Look
Cosby
look at Deshaun Watson from the Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
20 plus accusers, and the dude's still playing football and not facing any charges. So
he may get out, but I think any of us that were hoping to see him in that 90s show, the reboot or whatever, it's not going to happen. His career is effectively done.
Well, unless he's found innocent, then he could rise like a phoenix, like Chris Hardwick. But if he's innocent until proven guilty, so if he is actually guilty all the way through, then the dude deserves to be put in rotten jail. But
I agree. Shouldn't take advantage of people. I don't care what your status is. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. But I looked up another article and saying he's not getting sentenced until August 4th. So I don't know what the fuck this article's talking about.
Yeah.
So, but I know we're not doing geek news tonight, but have you seen anything that kind of piqued your interest?
I saw that NBC canceled Young Rock.
Oh, did
after 3 seasons? Yep.
It was actually a pretty funny show, but it started to get a little dry towards the end there. I watched it because it was on during a time when nothing else was really on. I watched Lopez versus Lopez, which I think is on the same network, if I'm not mistaken.
That show's dog shit.
It's garbage, dude. Garbage. And then the Keenan show, which I was kind of excited for, was absolute horseshit. And I don't know what it was called. I think it was just called Keenan.
Thompson. It was.
But Young Rock was actually decent.
I enjoyed Young Rock, but you're right. I mean, they kind of like got all the way through his WWE career, and like, so it's pretty much the end of the line now. So I'm not surprised that it was canceled after 3 seasons, but
yeah, my favorite part of that whole show was Randall Park.
Yeah. Playing himself.
Mm-hmm.
Playing himself, playing an out-of-work actor turned reporter.
He was basically Mario Lopez.
Essentially.
Every time I watched it, I was like, oh, this is making fun of Mario Lopez.
Yes, essentially. But
the one thing I read, dude, that I thought was pretty interesting. So, and we're going to talk about it in a little bit, the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. In the movie, spoiler, there's a Lego segment. And apparently that Lego segment was added a few months after production had completely rolled up. And they added the section there after, I think it was Chris Lord or Phil Miller or something, saw this 14-year-old kid recreate the entire Across the Spider-Verse trailer in Lego and asked him to make this Lego sequence in the movie, which makes sense that you only see the Lego sequence in that one part and then you don't see any more Lego through the rest of the movie.
That's interesting.
But a 14-year-old kid made that.
Good for him.
Yeah. Fucking awesome, dude. I followed him on Twitter. I think he's called the Lego OG or something like that. And he does a lot of stuff. He did the whole running up that hill with Sadie Sink, like recreated that whole what's it called? Stranger Things segment where she's floating up and about to get killed by Vecna or whatever. He recreated that in Lego. And it's not stop motion, it's like CGI. Like, it's not like he used Lego pieces and did stop motion. It's all done CGI. Computer generated. But I thought that was cool. But other than that, nothing, no big news things until probably San Diego comes around, huh?
It depends, man. I guess, yeah. I mean, there's some Fantastic Four casting rumors out there, but again, I don't think you're really going to get anything concrete until San Diego. The other part is too, like the writer's strike, man. The writer's strike has really
dried things up, huh?
Dried a lot of stuff up.
Yeah, I'm done talking about Fantastic Four rumors until they finally announce the official cast. Like, I'm just done talking about it, dude. Because remember, we were going on a tear there where we were talking about it, like, felt like every week someone else, Adam Driver, Tom Ellis from Lucifer, fucking, we had like 7 or 8 different dudes that were being looked at for Mr. Fantastic. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, until they finally announce something, I'm done speculating because I think it's all just feelers that Marvel's putting out. Well, what about this guy? Well, I don't know. What about this guy? See what everybody else.
You think it's feelers?
I think a lot of what Kevin Feige's admitted that they put out feelers about other things in the past, that they put out little things to see what the general public kind of reacts to it. So yeah, I think some stuff is agents that maybe their clients being looked at for the role and they leak the information to kind of, stir up some publicity for the fact that this person might get cast. I think some of it is Marvel taking a flyer on somebody, wanting to see how people react to it. Like the Tom Ellis Lucifer thing that came out of left field. Like no one ever really thought that he was, or it could be people that Marvel hasn't even contacted and the agents are trying to drum up interest for this person. So Marvel will give them a shot. We've seen that before too.
I think they know who the Fantastic Forecast is going to be, and I think it's.
I think they were cast
solidly set
2 or 3 months ago
in stone. Yeah, and we're just going to find out about it. I think that'll be like the big Hall H thing at San Diego, but really, I mean, who knows with the writer's strike and how long that's going on? Who really knows how that's going to affect San Diego and how is that going to affect Marvel's plans for Hall H?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't really know how far they are or what they have completed to show at San Diego. Like, I guess they could come out and show trailers for, well, the Marvels, which I can't remember when that movie comes out. There's really not a whole lot like that they can do. Like, they can give you a bunch of like, I guess maybe sneak peeks at things, but like, who knows? I don't really know how far they were in production on some of this stuff before the writer's strike. But oh, Lance froze. Well, fun times are had by all, I guess. This Lance has frozen down there looking very worried. Look at him. He's looking very, very scared. But other than that, I mean, there's really not a whole lot other stuff going on. Like, you can find the first 5 minutes of Secret Invasion online right now, which is interesting to me. They've a new Turtles show in the works for as a spinoff or a sequel to Mutant Mayhem. Lance is back.
Sorry about that. I don't know what that was.
It's all right. Shit happens, man.
But yeah, I think Fantastic Four is going to get overshadowed if they have a casting announcement for Superman. Don't you think? If we get some sort of vision to what James Gunn is going to do,
there probably will be. I mean, I'm sure there will be.
some news as far as casting?
Probably. Like, I think they're gonna do everything they can to go hard as far as like getting stuff out there to support this new initiative of James Gunn's.
Yeah.
But like, well, I guess all right. So I guess San Diego will probably see Echo stuff. We'll probably see stuff for Loki season 2. Probably stuff for the Marvels. We'll probably get a little teaser for Daredevil Born Again.
Secret Invasion? No, that's gonna air
Secret
before.
will be out already. We'll probably get a little. I don't know if we'll get any Ironheart stuff. I know maybe we'll see some of the stuff that Thunderbolts had filmed before getting shelved. Captain America,
Deadpool teaser?
Bright Future, whatever it's titled now.
Brand New World.
Brand New World.
Brand New World or Brave New World?
New World Order was.
Yeah, it was NWO. Yeah. But
way better name.
I think it's Brave New World is the new name. Do you think we'll get some Deadpool stuff?
Probably
They're filming
not,
it right now.
I don't know if they are because of the writer's strike.
No, he's filmed. I was reading an article the other day saying because of the writer's strike, he's not allowed to ad lib at all. But they're filming it. They started filming it, I think they said 2 weeks ago.
Why wouldn't he be able to ad lib because of the writer's strike? That doesn't make any sense.
That's just what I read on I think it was comicbookmovie.com. Let me see if I can find the
why would going off the cuff and ad libbing affect the writer's strike? That doesn't
I
make
have
sense.
no fucking idea. No idea. But I don't understand the inner workings of all that stuff, but
we might get some Deadpool stuff. I'm banking probably we'll see. You'll probably see for sure Daredevil Born Again stuff. You'll probably get the Phase 6 lineup. You'll probably finally get the announcement of the X-Men in Phase 6. You'll probably get.
So here's why. Reynolds is listed as a writer on the film.
Okay.
And since he's a writer on the film and he's an active member of the WGA, I guess.
So he is a member of the Writers Guild.
He's not allowed to ad lib because that in goes against the strike, I guess. Because that's like him writing, essentially. So Deadpool 3 has started filming, and Ryan Reynolds isn't allowed to improvise. Reynolds is a writer on the film, which means the rules of the WGA strike demand he stick to the film's existing script.
Okay.
But this other one I read right here, this is from the Direct. This was 6 days ago. Deadpool 3 Marvel creator shuts down. Oh, never mind. I thought it was saying that the shooting was shut down.
Well, because they shut down shooting on Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
They postponed Blade getting shelved again because of the writer's strike.
So this says Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld, I know we don't say his name on this podcast, but gave a reassuring update about Ryan Reynolds' improv in Deadpool 3. Reynolds' improvisations. Thank you. In the Deadpool movies has been well received by fans and critics. In fact, Deadpool co-writer Paul Winnick told The Hollywood Reporter in 2016 that the movie's original screenplay was 1 page and it said Ryan ad-lib, further cementing that improv is already part of the franchise from the very beginning. But yeah, Rob Liefeld said, dude, don't worry about it.
I don't believe anything Rob Liefeld says, though.
I keep reading all this. This is a direct quote. I keep reading all this. Oh no, Ryan Reynolds can't improvise on DP3 stuff. You know that he's wearing a mask and that in post-production he can ad-lib like crazy. ADR is where the fun bits happen. Which I think I agree with that. Don't you?
Yeah.
So, but that all depends on if this fucking strike is done by the time they get into post-production, right?
Right.
So
yeah, because because they can't do anything with it if it's. I don't know how that all works with a script that's already done versus, like, I guess if they're writing it, then I don't know.
I don't know
how that all
I think
works.
with a lot of these movies, like Anchorman and I Love You Man, these big comedy movies, the way I understood it is that the scripts were less dialogue driven and more situation driven. So a lot of the dialogue is built on the cuff based on what the situation, like how the movie's supposed to progress, right? So you have point A, you're supposed to be here, point B, you're supposed to be here, point C, you're supposed to be here. And the actors are given a little bit of fluidity as far as how to get to point A to point B, point C.
Well,
I don't know how
mean,
much is in there. Like,
but I'm just like, I don't know how it lines up. Like, all right, well, this movie's already done, the script's already done, and we're shooting it. How does the writer strike affect that versus movies that are still being written? I think movies that are still being written and the script isn't going to meet the time frame that okay, so then you're going to can't so we're going to shelve this. But like something that's already written, I don't know how that plays out because they would have already been paid for that. They would have already that's already done. They already turned in their final draft. It's already been signed off. They already paid for it. They've already been paid for it. I guess maybe as far as like rewrites go, if they're going to rewrite a scene or do rewrites right there on the spot. So I could see like if you're ad-libbing something or if you're like just going off the cuff and switching it up, I don't understand. I don't see how that would be an issue. But if they're like, all right, we need to do a hard rewrite of this scene and they actually have to like rewrite the script, that's where I think the issue would come in.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we know that with Iron Man 1, because this has been said on numerous occasions, that they were having daily rewrites. So Marvel, from their first film, kind of set that as a precedent of being able to change things on the fly.
Yeah.
So I don't know, dude. It's outside of my area of expertise. I don't understand how it all works. I know that I've been, on Twitter, I see all these actors standing in the picket lines with these writers and they're not working. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's more so of a lot of these actors are saying we're not going to work until this is figured out. So maybe there's a solidarity thing.
So I was watching Kevin Smith's Fat Man on Batman the other day, and they were talking about it, and I guess it goes in stages. So they have the directors just signed a deal; they got a new deal, and so it goes. The directors are looked at like the big boys, so it's the directors, the actors, and then the writers, and they're all different guilds. So the directors signed a deal, the actors are looking at signing a deal, and then it's the writers. So it's kind of like the actors might go on strike. They've been authorized to strike, but they haven't going on strike yet. So it's just the writers are the only ones on strike. But there are a lot of actors that are in solidarity with them.
Yeah. And probably
like
a lot of actors like Ryan Reynolds that's in both.
Animation gets around that though, because a lot of the animation is not gilded. They're not part of the Writers Guild. So like Seth MacFarlane, I don't know if Fox is gilded or not. I think Fox is gilded, but there are a lot of animation studios that are not, the writers are not part of the guild, just like WWE can keep going because their writers are not part of the Screenwriters Guild. And a lot of animation movies are not part of the Screenwriters Guild, so they get around it so they can keep working. But I don't know, it's all messy. And I agree 100% with what they're fighting for. They're not getting the same type of royalties that network television writers in the past are getting because of streaming services, and the streaming service is not syndicating shows. So,
well, network television, I mean, it's lately has been more of, so back in the day it was all about movies are the big medium and stuff like that, but I would say in the last 15-20 years, probably since The Sopranos, that network television has become a big medium device. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, and it even more so with the emergence of Netflix and HBO Max or whatever they're calling it now. that a lot of, I mean, Martin Scorsese fucking is writing shit for Netflix and stuff. Quentin Tarantino wrote shit for Netflix. You know, these movie directors that never wanted to be a part of any sort of network television are now writing these huge screenplays in an episodic format.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy. Network television's become just this crazy big thing. It's not fucking
it's
all
a guaranteed
family.
paycheck now. Like, it's not like if you get an Apple TV show or you get a Netflix show or Paramount Plus or whatever, it's a guaranteed paycheck. That's why a lot of these big actors are now coming to TV, because it's a payday, man.
Yeah, it's nuts. And royalties are not what they once were, because streaming doesn't pay the same kind of royalties that syndication.
Right. That's what I was getting at, is that these writers want more money because, you know, when they're writing stuff for Apple TV or Netflix, they don't get the same syndication rights that they do, because all these writers still get checks from episodes of Seinfeld that are rerun, or Friends or Big Bang Theory or whatever, Breaking Bad, whatever. But it's because they get those syndication rights, where streaming services, you don't get that, because it's in one streaming service, one platform, and that's it.
Yeah, and Netflix doesn't even share their they'd be like Nielsen ratings, but I don't think Nielsen ratings are with or affect streaming services, but they don't really share that this many people are streaming this show, unless it's like Stranger Things, where it's kind of like a headline of how many people are watching it, right? Mm-hmm. But one of the shows that I really liked that got canceled was Teenage Bounty Hunters. After one season, we still don't know how many people watch that, you know, because Netflix doesn't release it.
Well, and it's probably because it's not a flagship headliner either, you know?
Yeah. But think about those writers. Like, think about somebody, I've talked about that show a couple times on this podcast, and I'm assuming maybe somebody might have checked it out after I've said something, maybe a year or two after it came out, and they were like, you know what, I'm going to go check that out. The writers of that show are probably not getting paid for that person then going and streaming it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So Teenage Bounty Hunters was awesome, dude. Cardi West is asking Teenage Bounty Hunters ?
Yeah, I hadn't never seen it.
It's an easy watch, I guess. It's but the fact that it just ends after one season, I don't like really push people to go watch it, because it just kind of ends on a cliffhanger. It's not porn, dude. No, it's not porn. Even though the two girls in it are smoking hot. But no, it's not porn. Dude, did you see, what's it called? It's like cherry lipstick, or have you heard of this on Netflix? It's
no,
the girl that plays Alita Battle Angel.
And I'll tell you, now that they implemented that password crack on Netflix, I don't have Netflix anymore. So,
oh, you canceled it?
I never had it.
Good for you,
man. I was just using my parents.
Well, I told my wife, I said, let's cancel Netflix. And then I found out last night when I was trying to watch Never Have I Ever that everybody in my house uses Netflix, and I'm the one that barely ever uses it. But
I use Apple. I mean, I use Apple TV and Max. I use Apple TV more than anything.
Yeah, I want to watch that new one, Platonic, I think it's called.
It sucks.
It's not good?
No, it's boring.
Damn. I was hoping it was kind of like Neighbors, because it's
me too, and it's not.
Wow, that's a bummer. Brand new cherry flavor, I think is called. And there's a scene on Twitter of the main girl has a vagina on her fucking hip, dude.
Nice.
And this dude starts like going at her vagina on her hip, and it is the most it's fucked up, dude. Like, that's what's cool about Netflix, man, is that it's giving, not using that as a good example, but it's giving these writers a chance to be like really weird. Like, could you imagine like Stranger Things, the premise of it, if it was like on Fox, how much different it would be?
Yeah, it would suck.
Yeah, it would be so like watered down, you
It
know.
would probably be like X-Files, but with kids.
Yeah, exactly. Or the Goonies is one that it's often compared to, but the Goonies is really watered down version of Stranger Things, right? Or The Boys, dude. The Boys couldn't exist outside of a movie format before. What's it on? Prime.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man. My TV watching now consists of Yo Gabba Gabba, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, stuff like that. So it's
what's the other one that she watches? Singing
Super
Time.
Simple Songs.
Simple Songs.
She's kind of graduated away from Super Simple Songs now, and it's mostly Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and Yo Gabba Gabba and Miss Rachel.
Gabba's legit, dude. I love Yo Gabba Gabba.
Rachel. So
there's a party in my tummy. So yummy. So yummy. Fucking love Yo Gabba Gabba. Yo Gabba Gabba was created by the lead singer of the ska punk band, the Aquabats.
Yep.
Christian Jacobs out of California.
But that's a kid for you.
Which I'm going to see the Aquabats with Maxie. I think July 13th, I think.
Ooh, right before San Diego, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I've got so many concerts. I've got Blink next week.
Ooh.
I've got Aquabats second week of July. Then we got San Diego Comic-Con. Then I've got Yellow Card. And now I'm talking to my wife about going to see who was it? It was like Trio was on it. That's all I remember. And 4 Years Strong.
I'm still sad that I'm missing out on Blink, but it's whatever.
Dude, I lucked out on that one, dude. Like how expensive tickets got. Like if I would have waited to buy tickets. So we're sitting in front center section behind the pit. My wife and I, we spent $350.
Where's it at? Is that at
Footprint? Where the Suns play. So we're right behind
the downtown.
The pit.
I thought it was out in Glendale.
No, it's downtown. I just looked it up yesterday because I need to figure out where the hell I'm going on that day. But we're right in the center behind the pit. We're like 6 rows up in the center section. And we got 2 tickets for $350. And like 10 or 15 minutes later, that same section was $2,500 a ticket. $2,500 fucking dollars. I saw Blink 182 for $30 when I was a kid.
Oh yeah,
and now they're $2,500. It's fucking crazy.
It's on a Wednesday night too.
Yeah, I took those 2 days off because I told my boss, I said, I'm going to the concert that night. I really don't want to come to work the next day, so I took it off. Yeah, I've never seen Yellow Card, Aaron. It's their reunion tour. And I missed them last time when it was supposed to be their farewell tour, which was only like 5 years ago. So whatever. But I told my wife's a big fan. So I said, all right, let's go.
Ooh, tickets for Blink actually aren't that bad right now.
Have they dropped in price a little bit?
About $180.
That's about what I spent. But for what section?
You get one for upper deck, section 230. So it's kind of their nosebleeds, about 148.
So I spent with taxes and everything $350 on 2. So that's what, 175.
So are you on the floor then, or no?
Not on the floor. I'm in 104, I think.
Oh, so you're off the floor.
Yeah, I wanted to sit in a fucking chair.
So you're kind of kitty corner. Yeah, that section's like 104, row 26, like $360 a piece.
Yeah, so in total for 2 tickets, I spent $350. How come I can't get this to fucking load? I'm trying to see. Footprint Center.
That's cool.
I might be at 103 or 104. I don't remember.
104, 103 is like $472.
We're not dead center. We're just off to the side. So is that 103?
That'd be 104.
104. And we're not all the way in the corner. I wanted to make, because I've watched them play. Watched them with Day to Remember, and I was all the way in the corner, and that fucking sucked. Yeah, we're in. Oh no, we're in 109.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 104 is all the way to the side.
You're not bad. That's not bad then.
I'm only like 6 rows up, I think. Yeah, right now it says 299 plus for tickets there.
That's behind the stage. That always gets me about concerts. Like, why would you want to sit nosebleeds and behind the stage?
Well, you can buy tickets there?
Yeah.
Dude, every time I've seen, like, so what's the big one here? It used to be called Cricket Pavilion. I don't think it's called that anymore.
And the auction.
It's no, it's the one that's a circular stage. And there's seats all around it. A lot of comedians go there.
I don't know.
But they had a curtain behind, so you couldn't sit in the seats behind the stage. So it was more like a trying to see if I can see my tickets.
Like, you can get section 230 for $128, and it's like literally behind the stage.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. Now I have seen, I've never been to one, but I've seen them online where they're on a stage that's kind of like turning.
Mm-hmm.
You seen that?
Yeah.
My account, my tickets. Come on.
That's cool.
I'm excited, dude. It's gonna be awesome. I'm in section. I bought these a while ago, so I may be totally wrong. Yeah, 109. Row 25. We're in 109, row 25, seat 4 and 5.
Nice. Who's going with you, Anna?
Anna and I, yeah.
Nice.
And let's see what I paid. I paid
what row?
25. I thought I was closer, but
so there's 25. Row 22, $338 a piece.
Yeah, so my total. Oh, see, I didn't even pay as much as I thought. My total payment with processing fees and everything was $292.
That's not bad
for 2 tickets.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
But I bought them literally, like, I was sitting. They were going on sale at 10, and I got on at like 9:50, and I'm just sitting there waiting. And then as soon as 10 hit, I went in, bought my tickets. So, and Ticketmaster does this thing, like Taylor Swift, I think, had tickets go up to $25,000 in certain cities, because Ticketmaster does this thing where it's like based on demand, the price will go up. So that's what Blink did. So they have your face value, which is what I paid, and then based on demand, it'll go above face value. And Ticketmaster got a lot of shit for that. But if you guys decide to go, she says, honey, section 219, 168 each. If you guys decide to go, let's go get dinner before.
She forgets that we're buying a house, so.
If you guys decide to go, let's go get dinner. I don't know. She may bully you into going, so.
She ain't bullying me into nothing.
You say that. But I know who wears the pants in that house.
Nah.
Oh, man. Well, you want to talk about this movie?
Yeah, let's talk about Into the Spider-Verse, man. Or Across the Spider-Verse, I should say.
If it loads.
It's there. I see it.
Oh, it's not working for me. Motherfucker.
I see it.
Whatever. I don't need to see the fucking picture. There it goes.
I sees it.
So, dude, let me ask you before we start talking about this movie, what was your level of expectation before you went in and saw it?
Honestly, like, I love the first one a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The trailers for this movie did not get me excited for it.
Okay.
The trailer for this movie did nothing for me. It actually kind of turned me off to it. I was kind of on the fence about seeing it.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, you know what? I thought the same thing about the first one. I was like, I thought it just didn't look right, and the animation style really bugged me. And I was like, it's not gonna be it's not gonna be good. It's Sony. Like to that point, you're like, Sony Spider-Man movies suck, dude. It's gonna bomb. I don't want to deal with this. Fucking was blown away by the first one. Kind of the same feeling, but that's when I said, I was like, you know what? I said the same thing about the first one. I wasn't really feeling it. But I'll go check it out still. Spider-Man fan, I'll go see what it's all about. And so glad I did.
Right. So I think I was a little bit more hyped than you were. The first one I was like, oh, this is a fucking kids movie. Like, I don't really care to see this, and I don't think I saw it like immediately after it came out, if I remember correctly. I think I waited like a week or two to go see it with my boys. And I went and saw it, and I'm like, wow, like the trailer doesn't do this movie justice. Like the animation style in the trailer, it's off-putting, you know? But when you see the movie and you're in a full 2.5 hour, immersion into that animation style, you start to see these little details that you miss from the trailer. Like one of the things I really liked in the first one was, and I don't know what they're called, but like you could kind of see like that comic book dot overlay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I've only seen this once, so I don't know if it's in this movie, but I remember it in the first one. I was like, wow, that's like, look how much attention they paid to the details. You know what I mean? Saw the trailer for this one. I was like, oh, that looks really good, but I can wait a couple days. My boys fucking begged me to go see it. So I'm like, all right, let's fucking go see it. And we went at 9:00 at night on Thursday, opening night. And I walked out of that theater with the biggest smile on my face. I think I was more into this movie walking out than I was even No Way Home. I love it. Is that the popcorn bucket?
It is. It's the Miles one, yeah.
Why are his eyes black?
It's just because it's see-through.
I need to go to AMC. Oh, I see. But you can't wear it, right?
No, you can't wear it, but it's still just badass, dude. Oh, I almost dropped it.
So when you fill it with popcorn, his eyes are kind of white then.
Yeah, well, his eyes would be popcorn colored.
yeah.
But I never put popcorn in this. And it was wrapped in a bag. No popcorn has entered that helmet.
Do you remember I got the Ghostbusters Ecto 1?
I've got the Ant-Man. I've got an Ant-Man one too from Quantumania.
Do you? I need to start going to AMC on opening night so I can get those fucking cool popcorn buckets. I'm definitely going to go for the next Ghostbusters, which they just revealed their logo. It's covered in ice. I have no idea what that's about. But yeah, so I think I walked out of this movie happier than I did with No Way Home, dude. Because No Way Home like had a lot of fan moments, but you can kind of pick it apart a little bit, right? Like,
yeah,
it's a really good Spider-Man movie, but I still don't think it's better than Spider-Man 2 with Tobey. Spider-Man 2 was my favorite Spider-Man movie ever because it was so close to the comic books.
I think that problem, like Spider-Man No Way Home was a decently written movie, but really relied heavily on cameos
and fan service.
Across the Spider-Verse was an amazingly written movie that was elevated by the cameos.
Right. So
and
they didn't.
There's so many cameos in this movie.
Floor.
Like, I'm waiting for this movie to come on digital or DVD so I can stop it and look at all the different Spider-Men are in it. Because they announce and name like every Spider-Man in the film, but it's like so quick you can't really read it. You can't keep up.
Well, like the PlayStation Insomniac Spider-Man, he's in Blink and You'll Miss It moment.
I saw him.
And then the Donald Glover cameo, which we're getting into spoilers, so I'm sorry everybody. It's been out for over a week, so but it's not She-Hulk.
I know. I gotta fix it.
But the Donald Glover cameo was cool because in Homecoming you get the my nephew Miles or whatever, or we find out he's Aaron.
He's Prowler.
Prowler, thanks. I was about to say Black Panther. But you also get the extra little thing of the fact that he's been campaigning since his name, became known to be Miles Morales. So it was kind of cool seeing that scene of, oh, Donald Glover is going to become the Prowler, and also being in a Miles Morales movie. I mean, that was the whole reason he was in Homecoming, is because he was the number one choice to be Miles
do you
Morales.
think this is a Miles Morales movie? Or do you think this is a Spider-Gwen movie? Or is it... I think they have equal billing in this movie.
I think it's more Miles.
I can't honestly sit here and say this is a Miles Morales movie, because Spider-Gwen opens the movie, and the first 20 minutes is her backstory. And it's all like focused around her until she ends up in Miles' universe.
I would say that I think Miles is the main focus because we spend the most time with him, and that Spider-Gwen is kind of like headlining character B. Does that make sense? So you got like 1A, 1B. The reason I say it's Miles' movie is because when it comes to narration, the 90% of this movie is Miles narrating. Right? When it comes to point of view and the overall story, yes, the beginning of the story is very much Gwen. But as soon as Miles comes in the picture and you have that whole segment with him and talking to the principal's office or counselor or whatever, it becomes Miles' movie from that point, and it kind of retains it. And then the cliffhanger is heavily focused on Miles, and now Miles' doppelganger. You know what I mean? I do think it's a Miles Morales movie. But I think that you could spin this. I would love to see a spin-off movie that's just Spider-Gwen. Or what do they call her now? What's her name? Ghost Spider?
Yeah.
I hate that name. But
I think we're going to see her live action, because we got an announcement that we're going to get a live action Miles in. So they haven't said whether it's going to be separate from MCU or if he's going to make an appearance in Spider-Man 4 in the MCU. But we're going to get a live action Miles. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before we get a live action Spider-Gwen, especially with the popularity of this movie.
Oh yeah, the girl from Wednesday's heavily campaigning for it, and she looks like it.
To kind of like take it back though, so the plot of this movie takes place right after the end of the first one, where the events of the first one are very heavily influenced in this movie. They're still reacting to the collider. Miguel O'Hara is going through time to try to put back anomalies that...
Not through time,
or through the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
To put back anomalies that are happening in different universes because of the events of the first movie. And you find out that Miles just existing is the original anomaly that started this all.
Yeah, because he was bitten by a spider that's not from his...
Right, from his
planet.
universe.
Uh-huh.
So...
Which question... So the spider is from Earth 40...
that's a DC hero.
What are you talking about?
You said question. The question isn't Marvel, he's DC.
No, question. So the spider is from Earth 42, right? They 42 or 46. I don't remember.
I think it's 43, isn't it?
Is that what it is? And then Miles gets bit by this spider that crosses over into his universe. Mm-hmm. That spider effectively changes his DNA. So shouldn't he be...
Oh, no, it's 42. 42.
Okay, so I was right the first time. But shouldn't he be... It changes his DNA. So it bites him, changes his DNA. He becomes Spider-Man. Shouldn't he either A, be fritzing or whatever they call it in both universes or in neither? Because at the end of the movie, he ends up in Earth 42, which that's a huge thing, is the spider thing thought that that's the Earth that he was from because of his DNA profile, or the spider's DNA profile. So they sent him to the wrong Earth or the wrong universe, and he starts fragmenting in that universe. But wouldn't his DNA have matched that universe? So should he be glitching? That's the word I was looking for, glitching.
I don't think we saw him glitch in the universe that he originally belongs to. I think he doesn't glitch in his timeline because his DNA is mixed. So he physically belongs there. And he doesn't glitch in 42.
No, he
He
does
glitches
glitch.
everywhere else.
He glitches in 42.
When he's tied up, I don't think he does.
No, when he's so he starts walking up. So he's following Aaron up the stairs to the roof, and he glitches right on the stairs. And Aaron turns around and says, "Dude, you okay?" He didn't see him glitching, but you see him glitching. And that was like maybe the third time he glitched in that universe.
That's right. Yes. That's right. Because that's how you start to understand that he's not in the right universe.
Yeah. So he starts glitching after, like, right after he realizes that his mother doesn't know who Spider-Man is. She leaves the room. He glitches. And then all of a sudden you start seeing Spider-Gwen go into his actual house.
I think
seeing
it's
he's
because
not there.
he doesn't the spider alters his DNA to give him powers, but he still belongs in his universe. So he's still technically out of place in 42. The spider's from 42, but Miles isn't. So I think that's why he glitches. So
I was just thinking, like, wouldn't the spider change his DNA so he should be able to exist in both or not exist in either?
well, I mean, the spider isn't giving him its DNA, it's altering him. So
It's altering his DNA
yeah.
using its DNA. It bites, the spider bites him. So the spider has its own DNA.
Yeah,
Miles
or
has
it's
his own
venom or
DNA.
whatever. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I think it just said it alters it either way, and because he's, I don't know. That's a lot. That's a deep thought for this.
Yeah, I'm getting into semantics. I was just thinking about that as we were talking about it. I'm like, I only thought about that maybe 10 minutes ago. But it was just a question I had up, and I wonder if maybe he will be able to last longer in that universe, because the whole thing in the first movie, because I watched the first movie again, he's like, dude, you guys got to go home or you're gonna die, right? If they're there for too long, they glitch basically out of existence. It's the Earth's way of or universe's way of correcting itself, right? So they're going to glitch out of existence. I wonder if, because he does share a little bit of the DNA from the spider that made him Spider-Man, if he can last a little bit longer on that Earth before he needs like a wristband or something.
Maybe. I don't know. That's a good question.
But is there any story? I'm not super familiar with Miles Morales. I don't think I've ever read one of his comic books. Is there any story to where Miles Morales becomes the Prowler?
No. So there is a run called Spider-Men. So it's the first time that Peter and Miles meet each other. So it's like the Mysterio has ripped a hole in the dimensions, and the 616 Mysterio has come to the Ultimate Universe.
Mm-hmm.
So the Ultimate Peter gets sucked over there, or the 616 Peter gets sucked over to the Ultimate Universe. That's where he runs into Miles. They have this whole adventure, and eventually when they come home, Peter says, all right, let me look up the 616 Miles Morales. And he does, and he's like, oh my God, and it leaves on a giant cliffhanger. And then they do Spider-Man 2, and you find out that the 616 Miles is actually a villain. He's a bad guy. He's not the Prowler,
Spider-Man
but
still.
No, he's not Spider-Man.
But he dresses us the way we know him.
No, the evil Miles does not know.
Oh, okay.
But the normal Miles comes too. So you've got two Miles in one universe. One's evil, one's good. One's kind of like more of like a kingpin type crime boss versus.
So it could be borrowing elements from that story, is what you're saying?
Yeah, just like Aaron Davis isn't the original Prowler. The original Prowler is Hobby, who is in this movie is Spider-Punk. So they've kind of taken some liberties a little bit here.
Which, by the way, I loved Spider-Punk. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
His whole, like, ever since I ever heard of Spider-Punk, well before this movie, I think, in fact, I might have a figure here of him somewhere. I always thought that was the dumbest idea. Like with the steel mohawk, like spikes and stuff. Like, I'm like, this is fucking stupid, dude. But he's cool because I'm into punk rock music and he's Spider Punk, and I'm like, oh, fucking awesome. In this movie, they make him less of a laughing stock, I would say. In fact, he's kind of a linchpin for Miles to kind of, and Gwen to kind of fight back against
The establishment.
He's kind of the linchpin for that. So he actually becomes very pivotal to the story. But I loved his, kind of what he was doing. I thought the Spider-Man from India was hilarious, and I really liked that story element where they kind of
Voiced by
say,
Dopinder from Deadpool.
"Yep," where essentially an incursion happens. Like that's what that is, right? That's an incursion, and now he's not going to become the Spider-Man that he was supposed to be because he doesn't lose his dad or future father-in-law or something.
Yeah, his girlfriend's dad, who is the police chief, doesn't die. Miles saves him. And so because essentially each Spider-Man is supposed to have that Uncle Ben moment.
It's a catalyst moment, they call it, right?
Right. That defines their time as Spider-Man, that defines them, to projects them or propels them into becoming the Spider-Man they're supposed to become. And so when they're in the Spider-Man India's universe, Miles saves the girl, the police chief, and a little kid who are supposed to die, and in turn changes history, changes the event. And so now, the Spider-Man India won't become the Spider-Man he's supposed to become because that Uncle Ben-esque, Captain Stacy moment doesn't happen for him.
Right. So do you think that, so the next movie comes out, what, March 29th, I think you said?
I believe so.
Do you think that it's going to end? Because that's the whole thing. That's why Miles goes against the spider people, because they say, hey, you need to have your catalyst moment too. So you're going to stay here until that happens. And he says, no, fuck you guys. I'm going to go stop my dad from dying. Because it's all about police chief, right? Wasn't that a big thing?
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, you see Gwen. He's like, no, I quit the force. I'm not the police chief anymore. So he's going to survive. So she effectively kind of canceled. Captain, that's what it is. She effectively cancels her catalyst moment, which wouldn't that cause an incursion as well? Because the whole reason.
Well, I think it's going to. We just haven't made it that far yet.
But so now Miles is going to try to prevent his catalyst moment with his dad dying, which everything I've ever read about Miles Morales, his dad always dies. I mean, in the game, his dad dies.
That's a switch. It's his mom that actually dies in the comics.
But in the game, his dad dies, right? In the Miles Morales game.
I have to go back and yes, I believe so. Yes,
because there's that big. They're at like a rally. There's that big explosion where you're Miles not dressed up in the suit and you're climbing through rubble and stuff and you're fighting. I think it's Negative Man that blows up the rally. So his dad dies in the game. He's going to try to. Oh, and then you jump 6 months forward and they're like living in a small apartment or something like that.
Yes. So it's actually, but yeah, you're right. In the game, in the Miles game, it is his dad. In the comics, it's his mom.
Okay. So that leads me to think something different. So the whole catalyst moment for Miles in this movie is your dad's going to die. I wonder if he saves his dad and his mom dies. And that's why you get those heartfelt moments in this movie between Miles and his mom to add more weight to his mom dying at the end of the next movie.
That's a solid theory.
I'm full of solid theories, bro.
It's a solid theory.
I'm Solid Theory Lance. That's my name.
Never heard you called that one in my life. Never.
But then he still gets that catalyst moment, and then still, because it's his mother that dies and not his dad who was supposed to die, you still get the incursion, and that's effectively setting up the fourth movie that's going to be the incursion. Or do you think it's buttoned up all nicely at the end of this third movie?
I think it's buttoned up nicely across at the end of the third movie.
And then they start a whole new trilogy for the fourth, because you know that the fourth is coming. I mean, this movie is fucking killing records right now.
Yeah. Or unless they decide to go the live action route, like we've already said, and they move away from animation.
See,
But
I think if I was Sony and Marvel, both should exist, because I think as soon as you get into the live action aspect, you don't have the really small children crowd like you would with the animated movie. I think that that's why we've seen Mario do so well with that, and of course it's also parents. But Mario's done so well. This is the next big movie of this year. Like no other movie has come anywhere near Mario and Spider-Man this year as far as blockbuster grossing or whatever. That if you're going to do the live action Miles Morales, which I'm totally on board for, you also have to have the animated.
and I think they will. One of the things I loved about this movie, though, too, is they know that their audience who saw the first one is a little bit older, and
So they age up.
Well, no, not just that, but like this movie focused. What's up, Joe's doing? This movie focused more on the parents. It focused a lot more on Miles's parents than the first one did.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of getting that, like the parent stuff is kind of the node to the adults in the theater,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're getting all the Spider-Man stuff for the kids. So it's kind of like they're giving everyone a little something in this movie.
Yeah.
And dude, I walked out of this movie so inspired. The colors, man, the animation, and how it's constantly changing. The animation itself is like a character in this movie because how it's constantly changing and how the contrast of colors change with the moods. Like whenever like Gwen is depressed, it's very blue, and then when she perks up, it goes back, like her color corrects to where it should, and then like with the move, the background tones change and the art styles change and the colors change. There's that one point where she's having a heartfelt conversation with her dad, and like the colors in the background are like running down the screen.
Yeah.
And it's like just like I said, the animation and the art in the background is like a character of itself in this movie. And I gotta say, this movie was a giant middle finger to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, because this is how you do a multiverse movie.
Yeah.
This
In
was a
fact,
multiverse movie.
was it you or Max that shared that picture of the dude? Was it Max? He's holding the thing of this movie and Everything Everywhere All at Once, and kind of kicking a dude that has the Doctor Strange poster as a head. He said, "This is how you do a multiverse movie." Like, as far as I'm concerned, this movie and the last one, the last Spider-Man movie, and Everything Everywhere All at Once are the best multiversal movies I've ever seen.
Because I mean, fucking hats off to Oscar Isaac as Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099. I still don't think the Spot is the big bad guy. I think whatever's gonna happen, and you might be on to something with the Miles thing, because I think whatever's gonna happen, Miguel's gonna be directly responsible for it. So I think it's gonna turn that Miguel is the big bad in all this. Yeah. Because the Spot's kind of written off as a joke. And even, I mean, literally, like one of the things I love about this movie is that the callback is the Spot is a dude who gets hit with a muffin in the first movie. And you learn that because he was in love with Doc Ock and all this shit, and he gets hit with the muffin, he wasn't ever taken seriously, that he experimented on himself to become the Spot. Right?
Yeah, where is she in this movie? She didn't die in the last one or get captured? Did she?
I can't remember.
She's nowhere to be found in this movie.
But so he's trying to get stronger, and he's going out to all these different universes to get the collider to make himself stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like whatever's going to happen for Miles, the defining moment for Miles, is going to be directly responsible. Miguel's going to be directly responsible for it. So Miguel is going to turn out to be the actual bad guy for Miles in the next movie.
You don't think he's going to get that retribution arc?
No.
Where he realizes that maybe he's wrong? And
no. Because there's something off about him, because he's like a vampire. And in the Spider-Verse stories, there's the the Moreland and his crew are the ones that eat spider totems, so like that. So to me, it feels like he's more of like hunting spiders instead of trying to put the multiverse back together. There's something off with Miguel,
possibly.
but fucking bravo to Andy Samberg as Ben Reilly.
Dude, I loved it. My favorite character in these movies is still Jake Johnson, though. Jake Johnson opens his mouth, dude, and you can't help but laugh.
Yeah.
Like that dude. And then adding the Mayday baby, which I have no
Yeah, Mayday.
Yeah, is that an actual character? They make her up for this movie? Okay.
Nope, she's real.
Adding that whole element, the end of the movie, he's like, okay, we got to go to work, and the baby pulls the mask over the face. Like me as a dad, fucking loved it, dude. Because what does every dad want from their kids? For them to like something they like, right? I mean, look at you. You're buying every comic book under the sun for your daughter who can't even read yet because that's something you want to share with her.
Yeah.
My son, we're constantly watching like Back to the Future and Indiana Jones and all this stuff. I'm trying to get him into all these and building these Legos and stuff. Like that's our connection there. Is that 80s stuff. Every dad wants that. So it hits you kind of like right like in the feels when you see his daughter's like all about being Spider-Man and stuff, which eventually I'm assuming, and it looks like she has some powers of her own, right?
Yeah, she becomes Spider-Girl later on in the comics.
So wouldn't that be cool? Like, say Jake Johnson's character dies in one of these movies, and Miles becomes Mayday's mentor.
Yeah, I mean, this movie does go a long way to show that Spider-Man can take on that mentor role. Leftover Zaggy says, "Crazy thought. Something spawns a real-world Miles in the second part."
Oh, I think we're definitely, you got a tease of it of the animated world interacting with the live action world with the Venom clerk, which was all stuff from the first movie, right? There was nothing new.
Yeah, so you got to see, well, not just that, but the live action Donald Glover in the Prowler costume. When they have all the anomalies captured. So you have the live action Donald Glover from the Spider-Man Homecoming series in the Prowler costume. You have shots of Toby. You have shots of Andrew Garfield in it. You have stuff
hear
from
Alfred
the
Molina's
Venom movies,
voice.
and you see stuff from the Venom movie in it. So it was really cool, in my opinion, how they crossed over those live action universes also. Joe's Doolin says Marvel should take note and stop dropping garbage like Quantumania.
Quantumania was a letdown, man, because it was supposed to be so good and it had the potential to be so good, and it was just fucking let down, dude.
I didn't mind Quantumania so much, but
this movie it wasn't as bad as fucking Thor. I'll watch Quantumania again, but it still wasn't as good as I think Marvel can do. Does that make sense?
Did you see that Chris Hemsworth came out and said and basically said that to Marvel that they need to change Thor because he's tired of him being a goofy idiot?
But he's the reason he's a goofy idiot, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like that was the whole thing.
And I guess he did not like the way Thor is portrayed in Love and Thunder.
Yeah. I think that halftones. Oh, I just noticed that the Carding West told me what those were called. I think that the first two movies he was way too serious, and then the third movie called Ragnarok, you kind of get goofy and serious, and they just overcorrected when it came to fucking Endgame. They overcorrected. They went too far into the goofy. It needs to be a balance of both. He can have jokes here and there, but your goofy character in those movies is Korg. Like, let Korg be the goofy one. Korg can be the comic relief, but Thor needs to be kind of how he was in like a mix of Dark World and Ragnarok. And he just went way too goofy in the fourth one.
Yeah.
Waititi, or how do you say his name? Waititi?
Taika Waititi.
Watiti. I was reading it off of what Joe's Dolan said, and it says Watiki. But Ragnarok was fucking awesome, dude. Like, I don't know anybody that really says Ragnarok wasn't good. Did you like it?
Yeah, I
Matt?
love Ragnarok.
So Watiti, he can do it. It's just you have to have some reverence for the source material, man. Like, you can't just be like, I've got Chris Hemsworth and I've got Thor, and I'm going to make my movie without any kind of reverence for where you're drawing that from. Like, that's what I think. I think Taika Waititi, he basically said, I'm a filmmaker. I'm going to make the movie that I want to make, and to hell with what everybody knows this character to be, essentially.
Well, I think that is so. Ragnarok is a good mix where you still have serious Thor, but there's a lot of jokes in the background. Characters like Korg and I can't think of his name right now. Jeff
Slug.
Goldblum's character.
Oh, Jeff Goldblum, yeah.
That those characters are kind of the goofy ones, and Thor reacts to that. And then there's goofy situations, yes. And then Endgame gave Thor a reason to be goofy because he's, he went into this deep depression after the Thanos stuff, and because he didn't go for the head and this, that, and the other thing. Basically, he blames himself for everybody getting wiped out, which is understandable. And it's just like Ragnarok, or just like Love and Thunder, they just dialed the goofy bullshit Thor up to 11. And it's more so he's the goofy bullshit instead of the background characters and him just situationally reacting to them.
Yeah, and here's my issue with that movie too, is that movie, Love and Thunder, the big thing was Natalie Portman's character getting cancer and dying. There should have been more seriousness revolving that story.
Even she was goofy and stupid.
Yeah, which she's dying. So shouldn't fucking Thor show more gravitas or towards the situation? If that's his the love of his life is dying.
I agree with you, Joe. I have a feeling Waititi was more reined in Ragnarok, and then Marvel let him loose for Love and Thunder. Yeah, I can agree with you there.
Yeah, I think so. I think they had Thor 1 wasn't a box office fucking killer. Thor 2 definitely wasn't, what everybody wanted it to be. And Marvel probably played a much heavier hand in the third one to make sure that they got it right. And then thought the dude had control and fucking let him make his own movie, and it just sucked. I mean, they ruined Gore.
Yeah.
And you cast somebody as amazing as
Christian
Bale. And the dude did well with what he was given. But imagine if the character was written faithfully, what that dude could have done.
Oh, dude, Gore would have been the best Marvel villain yet if they wrote him correctly.
And Christian Bale would have been the best person to execute it.
He would have done a good job, yeah. But I mean, kind of direct it back here though.
Yeah, sorry.
Bravo to Across the Spider-Verse, man. Like Sony, they need to just let Marvel handle the live action stuff, and they just keep pumping out animated, because this right here was the best Spider-Man film yet. It encompassed, as me being a Spider-Man fan, in my opinion, it encompasses all the stuff that makes Spider-Man that lovable character, and to the core, and all of Spider-Man's core values through Miles. Just so good, man. So good. All the different Spider characters. I love how you got your callback to the first one with the massive like finger pointing Spider-Man session.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the Spider-Punk was a great character that in the end turned out, like you said, to be the catalyst for the Miles and the remainder of the story. The catalyst for Gwen to kind of step out of being afraid to let the world see who she is, and let her father know that she's Spider-Gwen, and to go save Miles and kick off. The only thing, my only gripe with this movie is the ending. It just ends Like
Yeah.
and it doesn't really feel like what's about to come is like this earth-shattering event, you know?
I think it left me hyped for more, dude. Like,
Oh, I was
I
definitely hyped for more because you feel unfulfilled because it left you feeling unfulfilled. It just ends in this weird fucking spot that scene is teased a couple times throughout the movie, and then it happens and it just ends.
what they should have done is the whole scene where he exposes himself to his mother. That sounds bad.
It does.
But he says, "Hey mom, I'm Spider-Man," then gets captured by the Prowler. That could have been a post-credit scene. Like
I'm
end the
actually happy
movie.
this movie has no post-credit scenes.
Yeah, yeah. It was originally going to the one where the Spot comes back and like kills a bunch of villains or something that tease him earlier in the movie. They scrapped it. But like the kids that you bring to this movie, like it needs to have an ending, and this movie does not. Right? It doesn't have any sort of ending. But it could have ended with seeing, you know, the Spider team on the roof. You know what I mean? They could have said, "Oh, Spider-Man's not here," and then see the Spider team on the roof, end it there, and then do the Miles meeting himself as the Prowler, as the Stinger for the next movie. But you know, Infinity War did kind of the same thing. Everybody dies, and then we got to wait a year.
Well,
So
Infinity War gave you an ending. It didn't just end. Thanos accomplished his mission and did exactly what he said he was going to do. And he retired and sat down on the porch and watched the sunset. He did exactly what he was going to do. This ends before the Spot can do what the Spot is going to do. Just
yeah,
ends. So you get really no resolution or really no like giant cliffhanger that sets you up
for the
for
next one.
the next one. It doesn't leave you with a reason to want to see the next one other than the movie was badass. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah, and you want to see how the story completes.
yeah.
I feel like they ended it the same way that you would end like a weekly episodic TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Huge cliffhanger, but you only have to wait a week. Now they're asking us to wait nearly a year for the next one.
And the crazy thing about this is like a lot of people I've talked to forgot that they originally announced that this movie was going to be 2 parts.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew that it was part 1 and part 2. And in fact, the original trailer, if I'm not mistaken, said Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, or it was Beyond the Spider-Verse part 1. And then they changed it to Across the Spider-Verse, and then the next one is Beyond the Spider-Verse, right?
Yeah.
Which I think that is so this is Across the Spider-Verse, and pretty much everybody you see is Spider-Man related, right? The
Mhm.
next one is Beyond the Spider-Verse. I think you're going to start getting some, I don't know, if teasers or interactions with people outside of the Spider-Man continuity. So maybe you get some sort of scene, and I'm just throwing names out here. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but just to kind of clarify what I'm saying, maybe you get some sort of tease of America Chavez. Maybe you get some sort of tease of Captain America or Iron Man or something that's outside of the Spider-Man lore, right?
I don't think you're gonna do that. I think they'll incorporate more like characters. I think you'll get more like the Craven the Hunter version of Spider-Man that you're getting right now. You're gonna get kind of more of that stuff. I don't think they're gonna go outside of the realm of Spider-Man.
Well, I'm just speaking on the name because like what would
Yeah,
Beyond the Spider-Verse mean?
well, who knows? That's
Well, that I mean, you say who knows? I mean, I think that's why we like this so much is effectively we don't,
right.
right? We did not see a majority of the story coming. They did a really good job of keeping some of these cameos. I mean, before No Way Home came out, we all knew Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were in this movie months before this movie came out. Did we fucking see Donald Glover coming?
See, and that's the weird thing is like Donald Glover is and as far as I've seen, Donald Glover is the only Marvel hero, or well, I shouldn't say hero, Marvel live action character that appears in this. Tom Holland isn't in it.
I think that's coming next one.
Genki's, or Ned isn't in it. Like no, like him being Prowler because it connects to Miles is the only one that's set in here. Like
I think you get
otherwise,
Tom Holland in the next one.
that's why I don't think you're gonna get like America Chavez or anything like that in these movies, because this is a memory at heart a Spider-Man story, but I don't know
if you're gonna get America Chavez, and that's she was just one that I picked because of her multiversal powers or whatever. I wonder if maybe you're gonna visit. Maybe you don't see that character, but you're gonna visit other worlds that we know are associated with other characters, right? So maybe you don't see the character. Maybe you go to maybe one scene he ends up in fucking the Iron Man vault, but you don't see Iron Man there, right? You know what I mean? So like I'm just trying to grasp at straws here why
I think it's going to probably
Beyond the Spider-Verse,
because it's going to focus less on particular universes and more so on like threats to the web of life.
Yeah. Do you think you're going to get a Madam Web sort of thing in this?
Absolutely.
Do you think that's going to set up for the Spider-Woman movie coming out? Because Madam Web is the main.
It'll set up for the Madam Web movie that's coming out.
Oh, is that what it is? Is that the one Sydney Sweeney's in?
Mm-hmm.
Madam Web.
Yep.
I think what Sony should really take from this, because you look at the success of this and then you look at how Morbius did and how probably Kraven the Hunter is going to do, is if you're telling a story about Spider-Man characters, you need fucking Spider-Man. And imagine how much better Morbius would have done if you had a Spider-Man element to it. I mean, they don't even fucking mention Spider-Man in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how much better it would have been if you would have had that.
Well, they don't mention him, but he is shown on like
a poster or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Which is, who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? That was just them saying, "Oh yeah, hey, by the way, this is a Spider-Man villain. So just in case you need it, here's a picture of Toby's Spider-Man, who hasn't been Spider-Man in fucking decades." Wasn't it Toby's? It was Toby's Spider-Man.
I thought it was Garfield's, but
was it Garfield's?
I thought so.
Which, by the way, Amazing Spider-Man 2 still, in my opinion, is the best live-action suit I've ever seen on screen.
I think Amazing Spider-Man 2.
That's what I meant. Andrew Garfield, the second one. Yes. That's the best.
Although Tom Holland's suit at the end of No Way Home is pretty fucking accurate.
Yeah, with kind of it's more leotard-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's the classic blue and red.
Yeah, that could be cool. But what I love about Andrew's suit is the big ass eyes.
Yeah. Well, for the love of God, I hope that they change Miles' suit in part 2, because his fucking suit bothers the shit out of me in this movie.
Well, they teased him a lot for it. Said, "Are you bleeding from the armpits?" I think I heard that joke 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Are you bleeding from the armpits? Like, I think it's gonna change.
Like, enough with the spray painted spider. Like, give me the classic black and red Miles comic suit, and let's fucking roll, man.
Yeah. What's his suit in the game? It doesn't have that spray painted logo, does it?
No, he does it. It's the classic comics version, the black and red, the black suit with the red webs and stuff. Not just a black suit with the fucking side spray painted and a spray painted spider across the chest.
Yeah, so he has the red. The red is more on his shoulders and going down his chest rather than on his underarms and going down his side.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's got the red fingers. Does he have that in here?
I think the tips are, yeah. But Joe's Doolin says, understand this is a unique property and project. It'll be hard to replicate its success. Absolutely. But I mean, it's a banger of a movie. It's by far the best Spider-Man movie I've ever seen.
And a lot of people said that about the first one of this. That it was the best.
I like this movie more than the first. Like it was hard to top the first, but I like this movie more than the first one.
I've started to think about it a little bit more and more, this movie compared to the first, because the first one is just phenomenal. And so I rewatched the first one a few days ago, and when I realized the difference between this one and the first one is the first one has a lot more kid element to it, whereas this one, I mean, and a large portion of that is Spider-Ham in the first movie. You get a lot of like slapsticky moments in the first one. This one is devoid of all that. There's no real slapsticky moments in this one. So it feels more grown up. Right. And he's dealing with more adolescent problems that he has to go through, your relationship with your parents and the girl that you like and all these things. It's much more relatable. And I think that's why this movie's better than the first.
Well, I think you have to, though, because like the first one is about the boy becoming Spider-Man. And this movie's more like, all right, you're already Spider-Man. Like the what's up danger scene in the first one, that's kind of like the best like becoming Spider-Man scene where you're gonna, throw childhood away, jump, headfirst into danger and truly into what it means to be Spider-Man. And now in this movie, you're seeing Miles fully accepting what it means to be Spider-Man and, going forward with that.
Yeah. And the mentor aspect is not really, the first one focused a lot on mentors and stuff. So he kind of has Jake Johnson there for a while, teaching him how to swing and then Gwen. But this one, he kind of has all that part down. So the mentor aspect isn't as prevalent in this movie as it is the first one. And that may be it too, is that in this movie, in the first movie, we're feeling like as an audience, we're being mentored on how to become Spider-Man. And in this movie, we're kind of like, oh, we understand. So it kind of grew with us a little bit. I don't know. There's just so many aspects of this movie that just make it like I've been itching to go see it again, dude. I've been so fucking busy and sick and stuff that I haven't been able to go see it. But
I want to go see it again too, but like a bunch of other shit's coming out. Like Transformers Rise of the Beast came out today, and I want to go see that.
I hear it sucks.
I've heard it's good. I want to go see it. I'm probably gonna go see it tomorrow with my wife.
I want to go see it because Pete Davidson.
What else is coming out that I want to see? There's so many movies coming out that I want to see. Oh god, there's another one.
Mission Impossible.
No.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I don't give two fucks.
What's the other one that Oppenheimer?
Indiana Jones is gonna suck. I'm sorry to tell you.
Yeah, I think it's gonna suck too. But I really want to see Oppenheimer, the new Chris Nolan movie. You know which one I'm talking about?
No.
It's the World War II movie, I think.
Flash. Yes, Joe. Thank you. Flash.
Flash is coming out. I can't believe I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I feel like those, like it's all like a blur because, this came out, Flash came out, or Flash is coming out. I think that comes out next week. Transformers
June 16th
just came out.
Comes out
next week.
Yeah, next week.
So Flash, Transformers, like I've already seen Fast and the Furious X. Into the Spider-Verse was great.
I thought there was another one coming out. I want to see Mission Impossible.
Mayhem, although I'm not really as excited about that.
What's the other one that I want to see?
I know you can't wait for the Barbie movie.
Dude, it looks funny, man. It looks really funny, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Shit, dude.
Dude, it looks funny. I saw the trailer with my wife and Blue Beetle's coming out in August.
Blue Beetle, that's another one, yeah.
I want to see that movie Strays. Have you seen that? The trailer?
Mm-mm.
It's Will Ferrell and Jamie Foxx.
Oh yeah, okay, I have. Yeah, no, I don't want to see that.
That looks really funny.
It's terrible. But like the Little Mermaid just came out. I haven't seen that yet. Although
Awful.
I've been
It's
hearing
awful.
it's bad.
And I've told people, I said, I didn't like it. And a lot of people are like, oh, because they cast a black girl as Ariel. No, that's not it. I thought she did fine. The story is so fucking predictable because it's everything we've seen before. And that's the issue with a lot of these Disney live action.
Well, I heard they added more stuff to it, like in the 2-hour movie, and they added like more songs, and
they added 2 more songs, one for Ariel and one for Prince Eric.
And I heard the Prince Eric one doesn't even make sense because he's just walking down a beach, like serenading the ocean.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's just dumb. Dude, that movie, my whole family went and saw it. And I said, what the fuck, man? I want to go see Spider-Man again.
It's because he crossed P. Diddy, Joe Doolin, so P. Diddy put a hit on him.
Who?
Jamie Foxx. There's a whole conspiracy theory that like he crossed P. Diddy, and so P. Diddy put a hit on him, and now he's got all these health issues and shit. And because they're being super.
How did he cross P. Diddy?
It just talking shit about him and talking like spilling his stuff, man. That's what they're saying, that P. Diddy put the hit out on Tupac. P. Diddy put the hit out on Biggie. And Jamie Foxx, Jamie Foxx crossed him, so he put a hit out on Jamie Foxx. Now he's having all these health issues. It's just a theory that's going around. That's all. Like if you search it on fucking YouTube, you'll see a bunch of shit about it.
I heard he had a stroke.
I don't know.
That came from Mike Tyson.
But
yeah, it's
Asteroid City is another one I want to see.
What's that?
It's the what's the name of the dude? Not Martin Scorsese. The guy that did
is it
Wes Anderson. Thank you, Joe Doolin. Yes, Wes Anderson.
The Magnolia, or what they call it. What's his other movie? What's the hotel one?
Grand Budapest.
Yes, that one. And then there's another one.
Moonrise Kingdom.
Did he do Fantastic Mr. Fox? I fucking love that movie, dude. Fantastic Mr. Fox, dude, does not get enough love. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
That movie had me rolling on the floor, dude.
Yes, he did do Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah, because it seems like one of his
movies.
That's the other one I was trying to think about, the family. Yeah, Fantastic Mr. Fox, dude, does not get enough love.
Yeah, he did Isle of Dogs also.
I haven't seen that one.
He did Rushmore, Life Aquatic.
Yeah, that's Bill Murray one, right?
Darjeeling Limited. But yeah,
Did he do the one with what the fuck is his name? Viggo Mortensen, where he's like a dad trying to get his kids back. Is that his? It's like Captain Fantastic, or what the fuck is that movie?
I have no idea.
I don't think he did do it. That one was a great one too. Viggo.
No, on the Viggo.
His movie, Captain Fantastic, came out in 2016. Have you seen that one?
No.
You should check that one out. I like it a lot. And the Green Book was really good too, but that's not Wes Anderson. So.
But yeah, I want to see. I really liked Moonrise Kingdom, and this movie really reminds me of that. So
his movies are hit or miss for me. Like, I didn't much care for Royal Tenenbaums or Grand Budapest, but I really liked Fantastic Mr. Fox. What was the other one that he did that we just talked about? Oh, the Bill Murray one.
Life Aquatic.
Mm-hmm. But his his movies are hit or miss. Sometimes the humor just kind of falls flat for me, and other times it's good. But yeah, so Spider-Man, you would recommend it, right? 10 out of 10?
Absolutely. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about why we're really here.
Did you see that they said that there was so much pink paint used in the filming of the Barbie movie that it caused a national shortage?
Yeah. It looks funny as fuck, dude. And my 11-year-old wants to go see it, so I'm like, all right, I'll go see it with you. I'll fucking give it a shot.
No,
when they first announced it, I'm like, that looks like the dumbest shit ever. But I think they're really like, it's Greta Gerwig, I think is her name. And I think it's supposed to be very satirical and parody of Barbie.
Looks
so. But Ted Lasso, man.
What a fucking shame that this show is over, dude.
Well, they still won't come out and say it's over.
I don't think it is. I have
on
my
Apple
theories.
TV, it's a season finale.
I don't think it is. I have my theories. We'll get into that. I don't think it's over though. But anyways, what did you think of the season 3 final
of Ted Lasso?
Mm-hmm.
I loved every second of it, dude. And as soon as I finished it, I think I texted you and Max. What did I say? I said I miss Ted Lasso already.
I've watched it 4 times now.
Jeez Louise, dude. You see, you're a big fan. I like it, and I watch almost every episode, maybe 2 times, depending on if there's something else I need to watch. I haven't seen this one again yet because it breaks my heart. But one thing I noticed this season that they did different than other seasons is in between every episode, there's massive time jumps. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
So a lot of the story is told without being told.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I would say that might be my one criticism is they could have taken this season and divided it into 2 seasons and just included a lot of those moments. Like the Nate resurrection, I felt like it was
reconciliation, not resurrection.
Reconciliation, thank you. It was so
I don't think Nate is rising from the dead.
It was such a big focal point of Nate's downfall from the team, and then to see him like just automatic, like he has that moment with Beard. It was really the moment when they came in and saw him at the Greek place. They said, "Hey, we all voted and we want you to come back." Yeah, we all want you to come back. We all voted on it, and he's like, "Well, does Ted know?" No, he doesn't know. That seemed really rushed. Like I would have liked to see a lot more of the in between, and just turn this into a 4-season show than rushing some of those things. It almost seems to me like Jason Sudeikis really wanted to be done with Ted Lasso because he wants to do other things, which if that's what he wants to do, more power to him. And realizing he had 50 loose ends that he needed to tie up. He had the Roy and Keeley situation. He had the Nate situation. He had the Rebecca finding someone situation, becoming a parent. He had his divorce situation. He had the team getting to, be number 1 situation. There's all these storylines that he had to tie up. And he's like, I only want to do 1 more season, so let's just do massive time jumps in between each episode. Because like we go from episode to the next episode, and they're like, oh, hey, we're on a 7-game losing streak. Oh, fucking Richmond has won their last 6 of 8 games, and now number 2 in the fucking thing. Like from one episode to the next. It's like, man, I would have loved to see some of this in between stuff.
So I think the 3rd season is supposed to be looked at as if you're reading Trent's book, as if you're reading The Richmond Way. So you're seeing the pivotal points in the book play out in the season. And you're seeing, I think they give you that. And in a lot of ways, they leave it up to the audience to decide. They know their audience is intelligent by the way they play this show out. Yeah. Right? So, because I'm sure everybody thought that after the cliffhanger of the penultimate episode where Ted's talking to Rebecca and she's like, "This is the time of year I come down and drop some big truth bomb or epiphany on you, and I don't have anything." He's like, "Well, I've got something." And then everyone thought, okay, well, Ted's gonna go home, right? Ted's gonna leave, or it's either Ted's gonna leave or he's gonna confess his love for Rebecca. And then they open this one with Rebecca sitting in her kitchen, and Ted walks in, and everybody who's shipping hard on Ted Becca lost it. I know I did. And then
Yeah,
they cut it up
I
with,
thought for sure something happened.
and then they cut it up with Beard coming in a Speedo.
That dude is way
Banana
too
hammock.
proud of his body.
So they know their audience is smart and likes to speculate, so they give you that stuff to decide on your own. They leave it up to you to decide a lot of that, and they set the ground. Ted was never mad at Nate. Ted forgave Nate the minute shit happened.
Oh yeah,
and that was kind of the reason, like, he didn't want them to show the video of Nate ripping the sign. And so he kind of had to bring Beard back down to earth by showing Beard the video of Nate being trapped in the office.
Yeah.
And I like that you finally get Beard's backstory in this. You get to know more about him and all that. To me, it's not over yet. Like, you might be done with Ted's story, but there's still more of this, these characters. There's gotta be. This is a massive hit show. There's no way that Apple TV doesn't come to them and throw a shit ton of money at them for more seasons. Sudeikis himself has even said that this is only the end of this story arc. They originally went into this writing a 3-season arc to tell this story, and that's what they've done.
Yeah.
So
I hope we still get cameos from him.
In this episode, you see Ted, the fallout from the previous episode where Ted is leaving, and you see everybody begging him to stay. The team does "So Long Farewell" from A Sound of Music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get Rebecca trying to get him to stay. You see the downfall of Rupert, and you see what happens, after he creates Total Football and where Richmond ends up. And it's a lot of callbacks.
Still not winning the whole thing.
No. And that's fine. And it's a lot of callbacks to the first episode, how the series started. It's fitting that Ted runs into the Ussie dude in the airport again, just like he did on the airplane in the first movie, or the first episode for the season 1.
Yeah.
So my big thing that tells me that we haven't seen the end of it is the ending. And I've tried to explain this to Darth Lopez. I was trying to get him on tonight to talk about this because he's always like, I want to talk Ted Lasso with you guys, but he's working. Is when you see Rebecca leave the airport, right? She runs into that dude from Amsterdam.
Yeah.
But then everybody else ends where they're supposed to, right? Where they dreamed, like their perfect ending. She finds the guy that she wants to be with and falls in love and gets the daughter. Sam gets put on the Nigerian team. Jamie rekindles with his father, which was what he wanted all along. Roy is now the manager of Richmond. Nate's back in the fold. Beard is staying with Jane. And if you look at the Beard wedding, it's at Stonehenge. It's very whimsical, very dreamlike. And who's the only person that's not at that wedding?
Ted.
Everybody's at that wedding. Even the woman he had a run-in with on his episode is there. But Ted's not. Ted is his best friend. And Ted's not going to be at his wedding. And so right after the Beard stuff, you see turbulence and Ted wakes up on the plane. So I think the perfect endings for everyone was a dream Ted was having. None of that is what actually is going to happen.
Jason Sudeikis and Beard both came out and said he was not dreaming.
Let's see. I think that's a misdirect. I think that's off because,
Maybe.
and so my theory with this is that Trent Krim took a big role in this season.
Yeah.
So he writes this book, The Richmond Way, right? Bestseller. They're going to want another one. So then he writes another book. So what if his next book is about Keeley, the rise of Keeley's PR firm, and them putting together a female Richmond team for the first spinoff? Then it's following Roy and Beard and Nate are coaching Richmond, and they get demoted regulated back down to the Premier League. And Ted comes back in season 4 or 5 to help Roy and Beard win the whole damn thing to finally end the series.
Maybe.
So Sudeikis can stay there because he says, and on the plane, he says to Beard, he was like, "Is it crazy that we're leaving? We almost won the whole damn thing." And then that's when Beard confesses that he loves Jane and wants to stay and fakes his appendicitis. But it ends on Ted giving the same kind of look that we got from Nate at the end of season 2. That close up on Ted.
Yeah.
So it tells me that they're going to do spinoffs, and you're going to see more of this. And then Sudeikis hasn't shut the door on Ted Lasso returning, but it's just the end of the story of Ted Lasso. Remember, they're saying the end of the story of Ted Lasso is done, but they're not saying that the story of AFC Richmond is done.
Yeah. My only thing is I'm nervous that a season or 2 without Jason Sudeikis is not going to. I worry that they lose that big heart element, and hopefully I'm wrong. But the biggest reason I tuned into the show was because of Jason Sudeikis and what he offers to the show. And when you're losing that, it kind of reminds me of The Office was a big show. Michael leaves, and then the whole show sucks. And they carried on for 2 or 3 seasons after Michael leaves. Steve Carell. And the same writers and everything, nothing like that changed. But the show lost a lot of quality after Steve Carell left. And it just makes me nervous of Jason Sudeikis leaving if the show's not quite going to be the same. Without sprinkling in those elements of, hey, Ted Lasso is still here. Filming him, back at home or something like that. Little elements that just keep the tease of Ted Lasso is still around and eventually will return to the fold. I just don't know. I don't know. It makes me nervous because none of us know what these next, if there's some next stuff coming.
There's going to be. There's no way they're going to tell.
Oh, I agree.
Apple TV, no.
I agree with you, but no one has come out and actually said anything.
It's just, right, because it's a writer's strike right now, so they can't do anything anyways.
Yeah.
So I really think that Apple TV is going to, I mean, the actress who plays Rebecca, I can't think of her name right now, was on Kelly Clarkson, the Kelly Clarkson show, talking about the show. And she even says that, Jason says that this is the end of this arc, and that he always intended this arc to be 3 seasons. And so it's the end of this arc. And she said, I'll keep playing Rebecca till her teeth are falling out. I want to see where this character goes. So
yeah,
and even Brett Goldstein has kind of nodded to, no one is flat out, other than Jason Sudeikis, nobody else is flat out saying this is done. He's the only one that's saying this done. I think it's because it's the end of Ted's arc. It's the end of Ted's time with Richmond. So you don't get to see what happens between him and his wife, or his wife and the doctor, her boyfriend. You don't get to see what happened, who Keeley chooses. So, and that's kind of what makes me think that whole dream thing is because Jamie reconciled with his father, something he always wanted. Sam is on the Nigerian team, but remember, Edwin Akufu said that Sam will never play on the Nigerian team. So there's things there that don't add up that I think that lead me to believe to this dream segment because of how whimsical Beard's wedding is. Why wouldn't Ted be there? You're telling me that because Ted wants to be home with his family, he wouldn't go back just to be at Beard's wedding?
Yeah,
It doesn't make sense.
it's interesting for sure. It raises a lot of questions. This last episode feels less of a conclusion than most that we just finished Manifest, right? And Manifest we know is done, right? This last season was the last season. It ends, everything buttoned up. There's no questions. Like it's just feels the finality of it. Lost, same way. Supernatural, same way. There's just this finality to it. This leaves so many open-ended questions.
And I think it's
something has to come.
They ended it this way because they're letting the fans sit with it. They want to see the fan reaction. They want to see how many fans are actually like, all right, I'm okay with this and how it ends in the finality of this, or saying, I want more. Basically the minority that says, I want more. I want more. I want more.
Yeah.
I want to see more of these characters. I want to see what happens. And if you kind of look at it, Ted is not in as much of season 3 as he is in season 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So you see more of Rebecca and Keeley. You see more of Roy. You see more of the supporting cast versus Ted. So they're kind of like already in a way ushering you into life after Ted. You know? So, I mean, if it's a beautiful ending, like in my opinion, I've always say endings matter, man. And to me, it's a beautiful ending to the story. So if it is the end, like they end definitively the end, they ended it amazingly. I just don't want it to be definitively the end. But that's just me. Like, you know, all my shows have ended now. Like the big shows that me and my wife were really invested in have ended. And I just hope Ted Lasso isn't one of those shows because it's so well written. It's ridiculously how written better than it should be. There's no way a show about that was taken off a commercial for the Premier League and turned into a show should have such good writing, but it fucking does. The writing's phenomenal, the acting's phenomenal. You're invested in these characters, you care about these characters, you ride with their decisions, you hope that they end up with who they should. And I found myself at the end not even caring that Ted and Rebecca didn't end up together because, you know, if
I didn't think that was going to happen. I think he was still hung up on his wife.
Oh, he clearly was, and he had to stop sleeping with Sassy too, which didn't happen. But
yeah, you brought up several times of the Ted Rebecca thing, and I never was fully on board with that. Like I saw the misdirect of what they were trying to do, like make you think that was coming, but his whole existence has been he's still hung up on his wife. And Rebecca doesn't strike me as somebody that is going to enter in a relationship with somebody that she knows is not 100% in.
They're both broken, and she says that, like they're both messes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I love it. I do think you said something a minute ago. If they do another season, it should be Life After Ted. That's what they should call it.
Mm-hmm.
Life After
Or
Ted.
they should call it The Lasso Way, and then you see how the effects of him being there still hold on to the team, or still
his legacy.
Yeah. But I don't think we've seen the last of Ted. Like, if they do spin-offs, something tells me he comes back because they're going to
he owns all of it. It's his, right? Like he is the creator of the character. Like
him, the actor who plays Beard, and Goldstein.
And Bill Lawrence.
Yeah, and Bill Lawrence.
From Scrubs fame. Didn't he create Scrubs?
Yeah. And he also did Shrinking, which is on Apple TV, which is a phenomenal show too.
So did Brett Goldstein.
Yeah, if you like Ted Lasso, definitely check out Shrinking. My camera.
Yeah, Shrinking is phenomenal. Your
I don't know if my
camera
internet's
went out
dying
of
out, but
there you go. No, it's these fucking Logitech cameras, dude. They do this shit. That's why I bought a fucking 4K one, because the autofocus is so good. But my old one, it does that shit all the time, especially when you're in a dark room.
But I'm here for more Ted Lasso, man. I love this show. It's a feel-good show. I can get behind these characters. I get invested in. And my wife always says it's so cute how invested you get in these shows and in these characters. And like this show was in particular, man. Like,
I agree. I love this show. I mean, it's kind of weird because like when the Disney shows first came out, the Marvel shows, that was like must-see television, right? Like they'd come out and you'd sit down, you'd watch them right away when they got released. And then
but I was never invested in those the way I am.
I know. I'm trying to paint a picture here.
I know.
And then
the painting sucks. You know Bob Ross. No, I'm just kidding. Go
ahead. And then you kind of had that with the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, and then Boba Fett kind of tapered that off a little bit. But the first 2 seasons were kind of must-see television. Mm-hmm. Ted Lasso is besides those first couple Marvel shows and the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, Ted Lasso's been that show. There's nothing right now that's like it comes out and I have to go watch it. Like there's nothing. Like I can count maybe 5 shows that have come out on these streaming services. Like a new episode is dropped and I have to stop what I'm doing right there and fucking watch it and schedule it on my day. Like I'm going to watch this tonight when it comes out. Dave might be that other one.
I do like Dave too, but Dave's on a different.
Yeah, but Dave comes out and I'm dropping what I'm doing and I'm watching it.
Yeah, I'm not like that. I like Dave a lot, but I usually watch it. I record it on my DVR, but end up watching it the next day.
It's on Hulu.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I just watch it on Hulu. But Dave ended too. There's nothing right now. There's nothing that I'm like, I have to sit down and watch this
because of the writer's strike. So.
Well, Secret
like
Invasion,
even Yellow Jackets, like a bunch of people keep recommending me Yellow Jackets. Like, oh, well, Ted Lasso's over now. Check out Yellow Jackets. I've watched both seasons. Season 1 was all right. I feel like season 2 ruined the show. I don't want to watch all this supernatural bullshit that's going on with it now. I just tune in to watch kids eat each other.
So I finished it. I finished Yellow Jackets finally. It's a hard show to sit through, just because a lot of it just drags on and on and on. Everybody's talking about these supernatural elements. I don't think they're supernatural elements. I think they're psychological elements.
I don't.
I think it's manifesting it's manifesting itself in a way that's a supernatural element. But I think all these women are fucking crazy.
Yes, they are.
Like, I think that's what it is. Like, I think they're seeing things that aren't there and that it's not a supernatural element. A lot of people have said it's supernatural and I just don't see it.
And like,
but that show, dude, like the first couple episodes, I'm like, wow, this show's really good. And then I'm like, oh, this is the Lord of the Flies. That's all this is. It is. It's Lord of the Flies with a little bit of sex involved.
There should be
weird
more
because all these girls are in high school.
There should be more. Like Travis is the biggest loser to me in this whole show. Dude, you were trapped in the wilderness with a bunch of hot chicks. And yes, you are banging the hottest one of them all, Natalie. But why aren't you running train through all of them? All of them. Even the coach, man. The coach was like, oh, I'm gay. I don't want people to find out I'm gay. Blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Who cares?
Well,
why are you whining about this?
I think even if I was on an island trapped with a bunch of gorgeous teenagers, I would still try to retain some sort of
fuck no, dude. You're plowing through all of them. Even Misty, dude. You're fucking even Misty, man.
Dude, the Misty, the actress that plays young Misty, well, Christina Ricci has always been hot, but the actress that plays young Misty, they try to make her look like a nerd, and even she's pretty hot.
Yes.
But Natalie is by far the hottest on that show.
Yeah, young Natalie, yes. And
yeah, Juliette Lewis, not so much.
Yeah, that's like the worst casting because, like, all right, like older Shauna looks right, you know, okay. Even the Vanessa, teen Vanessa to adult looks right.
The redhead.
Yeah, everyone looks right except for
Natalie.
Natalie.
But
But
that the young Natalie, dude, smoke show, dude.
yes, absolutely. Like, dude, like
That's why I
Shauna, if
watch it, because I'm like,
you
when's
tell
young
me that
Natalie coming on the screen?
Travis shouldn't have been banging Shauna, she ain't gonna get any more pregnant than she already is. Like, dude, come on. And then you're all just, I don't know, man. Like a bunch of whining in that show. The fucking, my wife likes it, and I watch it with her. But I'm
I
just
think
like,
it's a show geared towards women. I think that's why Travis isn't plowing through all these girls.
well, he needs to be.
It's because then it turns into a guy show.
And like, even when Natalie's like ready to fucking hop on that pogo stick, he's like, "Oh no, I don't know if I should." And my brother, I'm like, dude, shut up, go,
Yeah.
get busy, man.
That
Get busy living because you're already dying.
that the last two episodes. So Anna was like, "I'm gonna watch the last two episodes without you because I can't wait for you." I'm like, "Fine, go fucking watch them. I'll watch them on my own." The last episode, dude, I think
Stupid.
I paused it so many fucking times, like, and then just stopped watching it and would come back the next day and like continue it. Like, I could not sit through it, dude, because that's why I was getting so mad at you. You're like, Lance, you told me that you loved it. I was like, dude, I watched one episode and said it looked pretty good.
Javi spends months out in the wilderness by himself and survives only to die by falling through the ice because they're chasing Natalie to kill her. And they're all like, "Oh, the wilderness has chosen. The wilderness has chosen."
It did get more interesting once they ate the brother, the cabin lit up in flames, and Natalie was killed. It got a little bit more interesting because I felt like the stakes were higher.
The coach burned the cabin down, clearly.
It reminds me of like those shows, like Anna's really into Outlander. Like, it's very female like perspective, right?
Well, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But
No, it's fine, but it's female perspective. That's, I guess I'm saying it wrong. What I'm trying to say, it's written to invest females more than men. Does that make more sense?
yeah, it's written geared towards the female demographic. Yes.
And Yellow Jackets feels that way. That's why it lost my interest so quick, because it kind of, to me, felt like we're going to try to take Supernatural and Lord of the Flies and mash them together and make a female-centric show, which is fine. Like, because one of my shows that I'm like geeking over that came out yesterday that I'm like, Anna, we have to watch this. It's Never Have I Ever. And that's definitely a female written show. Like, that's a show for females, and I fucking love it. But it just, the story is more like, all these women are fucking idiots, dude. Like, the only one that fucking does something smart is Elijah Wood. Like, Elijah Wood, like, oh, all you girls are being wanted for this guy's murder. I'll fucking take care of it. And he takes care of it. But every female in that show just makes dumbass decisions. Like, I don't know.
I just, like, I'm here to watch hot chicks killing each other. That's what I'm here for. That's why I tune in. Like,
have they killed anybody?
And now to this point, like, I'm staying just to see how they get off, how they get rescued.
You know, it's a better show that kind of has a similar component, not the cannibalism part, but it's a much better written show. The Wilds on Amazon. Have you seen that one?
Mm-hmm.
So The Wilds is kind of like Lord of the Flies. There's a plane crash. It's a bunch of girls. I don't think, is there guys on it? No, it's a girls volleyball team or something. They're in a plane crash. They end up in the woods. And that show is much better written. I would say that show does everything well that Yellow Jackets is not able to do. You need to check out that one. It's 2 seasons. Easy watch. If she likes Yellow Jackets, she may like that one. That show is much better written.
I think Yellow Jackets is well written. It's just, I don't know.
It doesn't hold my attention.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, in the Wilds, I'm like invested in.
And I feel like a show about hot teenage girls killing and eating each other should hold your attention.
Right. Dude, you know what? I know we talked about our 2 shows, but I finished The Marvelous Miss Maisel. Man, that show's so fucking good. Have you watched that?
Nope.
Dude, I love that fucking show, dude. It's so good. Series finale was just last week or something. And Anna's not into that show, but it's about a struggling female comedian in the 1950s or something like that, or 60s. And it is so fucking funny, dude. I love that show. Monk is in it. The guy that played Tony Shalhoub plays her father and is hysterical. You should give that one a watch. 4 seasons, I think, on Amazon. But yeah, dude, all I'm watching right now is People Investigates on Max. Just fucking documentaries. That's all I've been watching because there's nothing else.
I tried to watch the dumbest show ever on Amazon, Jury Duty.
Oh, I haven't watched that one, but I've read a lot about it. It's not good.
It's, I don't know. It's just, it's very dumb. It's funny,
it's like
but
candid
it's
camera
dumb.
type stuff, right? Like it's one guy that's in
one guy that's never been on a jury
doesn't realize he's on TV.
Yeah, it's one guy that's never been in a jury before, and he's surrounded by actors. He's the only non-actor, and James Marsden in it, and he plays like a very like dialed up version of himself. So
and the guy doesn't know that it's James Marsden?
No, he does. He's the only one that he recognizes. So he's the only one that knows that he's James Marsden.
So they had a guy, I forget what show he was on. It might have been Scrubs or something that's in that show. And they find out in the first episode, like the guy says he's like a big fan of Scrubs or something like that. So they moved, the guy was supposed to have a huge role in the show and they move him to the back. And
yes, he is.
Gets like
I know
2 lines.
About,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Is it Scrubs?
I don't know if it's Scrubs, but he's definitely like one of those faces you've seen a lot and you would pick up on it and be like, yeah, he's an actor. But James Marsden is good in it. But it just, I don't know. I have to finish it. I was watching it. Aaron and I started watching it when we were sick with food poisoning. And I just have yet to go back to it. Like 4 episodes in. I hear that it ends well and it ties everything nicely, but I'm just like, this is so dumb. But I have no more shows to watch, so I guess it's gonna be something, you know. There's really nothing I'm looking for. Like I had high hopes for Platonic, but that fucking show just has not grasped my interest whatsoever.
I'm trying to figure out who that dude is, but I can't find it. So a couple weeks ago, I forget who said, it might have been Joe's Doolin, but somebody was like, Lance, watch Jury Duty.
It was probably Carday West, because that's who fucking keeps telling me about it.
Oh, is that it? So he says watch Jury Duty. I had no idea this show existed. I thought he was talking about Jury Duty with Pauly Shore.
Oh no.
So I was like, dude, that movie's like 30 years old. Of course I've seen Jury Duty. Dude, you know what I read the other day? That they've been talking about a couple sequels. They've been talking about a sequel to Son-in-Law called Father-in-Law. They're talking about a sequel to Tenacious D, Pick of Destiny. 100% on board for it. And then they're talking about a sequel to School of Rock.
Nah, I don't want a sequel to any of those.
You don't want to see? You didn't like Tenacious D?
I did, but I don't need a sequel to it.
I've been begging for a sequel forever. But so they say here, not having HBO Max kept Ronald from Jury Duty from being screened off the show. So because he didn't have HBO Max, he had no idea that this was happening to him. Isn't that funny?
Why HBO Max? That doesn't make sense. Because it's a fucking Amazon show.
I don't know what this is talking about then. See, I don't even know how to fucking watch it. I thought it was on HBO Max.
No, it's on Amazon.
But I don't know. I want to. Yeah, my fucking internet's fucking up again. I don't know, but there's really not anything. Doesn't Secret Invasion come out soon?
Yeah, you can watch the first 5 minutes of it online right now.
Well,
But
about all that. But when's the actual thing come out?
later on this month, I think.
Is it this month?
Yeah. Like, so Kirk Fox is his name. Is another one of the jurors in jury duty. And there's a guy on here. It's played by a dude by the name of David Brown. And he's kind of like this weird guy. And so like the first episode, they're all trying to get out of like jury duty.
Yeah.
And he tries to use the Family Guy I'm a racist like rant to get out of jury duty.
Yeah.
It goes horribly wrong. Joe's doing Eastbound and Down is actually one of my favorite shows. I love Danny McBride. I loved him in Eastbound and Down, and I loved him in Vice Principals. I know you said something about Royal Tenenbaums. That's or not Royal Tenenbaums, but Royal Gems.
Righteous Gemstones.
Righteous Gemstones. That's the only show of his I can't get behind, and I think it's because it's got the religious aspect to it. Like, I don't like really anything that has to do with religion, so it just doesn't sit with me. I know it's like they're a scam and how like they're making fun of how like a religion is a scam essentially, but I just never.
Yeah, they're one of those evangelists.
Yeah, I never got into
churches.
Yeah, I never got into it. I just couldn't get into it, and I like the majority of the cast in that show too. Like I'm a big Adam Devine fan, and I like.
Adam Devine signed me up for any. Dude, I even watched that shit show that was the Pitch Perfect show with him.
Oh, I couldn't get past 2 episodes.
Bumper Goes to Berlin or something. I watched it just because he's in it.
I couldn't get past 2 episodes.
It's not a good show, but he's in it, so I watched it. Workaholics.
I love
fucking. What's the show he did on Netflix? Oh, it's with the Workaholics guys, isn't it?
He did a movie with them.
For Netflix, right? Where they're like,
yeah. He did another movie I think called Jinx.
Yeah, which is basically like Her, but a parody of it, right?
He did a movie called When We First Met, which is like a time travel. I really like that movie.
Yeah,
but
I love Adam Devine. He's a big Blink-182 fan.
Yes, he is.
Dude,
he talks about how he went to a concert and lost his virginity to a Blink-182 song.
All the small things.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, all the small things. Dude, so I was watching something, Margot Robbie, which makes me love her even more, is a fucking huge metalhead.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, oh yeah, when I was a kid, I used to listen to Thrice, which I've got right here, and Bring Me the Horizon. I'm like, oh my gosh, where were these girls when I was in high school, dude? Because hot and listen to the kind of music I listen to, fucking sign me up.
But yeah, if you've never seen Eastbound and Down, I recommend watching that because it's fucking fantastic. My plums. I said, let the boy watch. Will Ferrell is fantastic in that show.
Vice Principals is phenomenal.
Vice Principals is very good.
Yeah, and that it's more so not even Danny McBride, it's Walter Goggins. That's really good.
Both of them play well off each other.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I don't have anything else. Do you have anything?
Let the boy watch. No, man, that's it. Like, that is it for me in my world, dude.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to get a little bit more consistent with our show, right?
Gonna try, man. Once I go through the move, for sure, we're gonna revamp, figure it out, try and find new hosts. So if anybody's interested in joining up, hit me up, hit Lance up, let us know.
And we want consistency, commitment, and honesty. Yeah. Those are the 3 main pillars that we're looking for.
We don't. Thanks, man. How did you see that, Zaggy?
Your wife posted it on Facebook.
Yeah, but I don't think he's friends with her on Facebook. It must have been my Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, if anyone hasn't heard, I'm having another baby, another little girl, unfortunately.
Don't say unfortunately. Girls are awesome, dude.
I do say unfortunately because I wanted a boy, but whatever.
It's all right, dude. It'll happen. My last one I thought was going to be a boy. I for sure thought it was a boy. We had the name picked out and everything. It was Oliver. found out it's a girl, switched it quickly to Olivia because I
Yeah,
wanted her named after the Green Arrow.
I really want. I'm really pushing hard for. I wanted Carter Sky, but we're gonna run with this 2 middle name thing because my daughter now has 2 middle names. So I really wanted Carter Sky, but my wife wanted Elizabeth because Elizabeth is like a big middle name in her family. It was her daughter who passed away's middle name. It's just this big running middle name in her family. It's also my sister's middle name. So I'm really pushing hard for Carter Elizabeth Sky, but she at first she was like, I think I got to give it to you so you can get a win. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Because like to me, names hold a lot of power. So like I feel like if she wants to be like Carter Elizabeth is a badass rock star name, Carter Sky is a badass rock star name, or Elizabeth Sky would be. So she
I
has
don't
options,
know.
dude. Like,
Elizabeth Sky sounds good. Carter Elizabeth sounds good. I don't think you should push for her being called Carter Sky.
I think it's fucking awesome.
Carter Sky. When you first told me it, I heard porn star.
Nah, but fucking. That's
Whatever
what
you
I'm pushing
choose.
for.
I like the fact that you guys are picking names that are not obscure. Like you hear all these people that name their kids weird fucking obscure things. I wanted to make sure all my kids had names that sounded strong and were not super weird or something that when they said it somebody was like, what'd you say? So like Olivia, Taylor, Alexander, William, Kaylin, like they're all easy, strong names. You have Taylor, Logan, Carter. Those are all easy fucking names.
But they're like I wanted a strong name that's not common for a girl. So like Logan isn't that common for a girl. Yeah. Carter is not that common for a girl, you know, but like I don't want these basic fucking, you know, white girl names. like I feel like Taylor is very common now. Like Taylor is a very
and it
common
wasn't
name now.
I don't feel like it was because when I named Taylor, like people were like, really? Taylor? A boy? Like that's a boy's name. I'm like, no, I've met lots of girls named Taylor. But she's the only one that doesn't have like a nerd aspect to her name.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of annoys me a little bit. Like I wish I would have put more thought into that. Kaylin is named after an Unwritten Law song. Unwritten Law is a great punk band. William's middle name is Dean after Supernatural. Lex, we call him Lex because of Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
And Anna really wanted Alexander, and I said, we're not naming him. We're not calling him Alex because every Alex that I've ever met in my life is a jackass. But we can call him Lex. Taylor, nothing. And then Olivia was supposed to be Oliver because of Oliver Queen. So they all have a nerd aspect to their names except for Taylor. I don't know where we got that from. But you look at her and she's definitely a Taylor.
Oh, I said Taylor never had any others in her class. Yeah, but
Other
nowadays
Taylors.
it's super. I feel like it's super common for girls.
I feel like it had his moment. It was never on the top 10 list of most popular girl names. You meet a lot of boy Taylors, but the top 10 list of girls' names. Let's see.
And then William. She loves you call your son Lex.
What?
She said she loves that you call your son Lex.
Yeah, because every Alex that I've ever met is a jackass, dude. So one of the most popular girl names is Olivia. But Taylor is not on the. It's Olivia, Emma, Charlotte, Mia, Amelia, Sophia, Ava, Isabella, and Evelyn. You know what's funny about most of these names? Very much Latino element to them. Olivia, Mia, Amelia, Sophia.
Yeah.
Isabella.
She literally just bailed on watching Family Feud to jump back in the chat because she heard me talking about baby names. But like I believe in strong names, man. Like I feel like strong names set you up for success. So like Logan is Logan Alexandria Page. I feel like Logan Page is a badass name. Logan Alexandria is a badass name. Or if she want to go by Alexandria Page, is a badass fucking name.
Yep.
So she's got options. And that's why I feel like Carter, Elizabeth is badass. Carter Sky is badass. Elizabeth Sky is badass. Like she's got options. So it's just like I give my kids options for success, man. But I feel like my daughter fucking Logan's gonna be the next Taylor Swift by fucking God.
So Taylor is not. I'm looking through this list of the most popular girls' names. Skylar, which isn't Sky, comes up on as 87, but Taylor is still
fucking.
Taylor's still not on this list. I'm at 116. I still have not seen Taylor. Because I think it's more. I think it's more boys are named that.
She loves Skylar. She says
Taylor. I do not see. Aaron, was the name Taylor, like, where did you get that from?
Her butt top.
Taylor is 217th on this list. Let's see if Carter is on this list.
She said that Taylor was the top.
Carter is 550. Elizabeth is 15. Elizabeth would always be famous.
Thank you, Joe's doing. Got my back, man. Skylar seems like a name destined for Marlboro 100s.
It does, doesn't it? Oh, what's that segment? Oh, it's Ted, where they're going off of the names and Mark Wahlberg's just naming them off.
Oh, yeah, the white trash names.
Oh, that's such a good fucking oh, I need to watch that movie again. Why would you say F. Scott Fitzgerald? What did he ever do to you? Number one most popular name on this list, Olivia.
She really wanted Luke. She wanted Luke if it was going to be a boy.
Luca?
Luke.
Oh, Luke?
Yeah, she wanted Luca for a girl. Yeah, she wants it for a girl. But since that fucking Pixar movie came out, that name became super popular for boys.
Yeah. And that might be why that I hear it more as a... You know what's the 32nd most popular name on this list? Nova.
Yes. Nova.
No, I'm looking at girls' names. Any person names it. Any person names their girl Lance.
2023. How dare you assume?
No, dude, that'd be weird. But you can tell that a lot of like hippies name their kids certain things. Like Willow is on this. Hazel, Aurora.
All I know is I'm pushing hard for Carter.
I like Carter. I think that's a great name.
Pushing real hard for Carter. And then so we're in the doctor's office and they're like, it's a girl. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And she's like, well, I feel like I'm going to have to give you Carter because, just give you one because I need a win. And now she's slowly walking those back. Slowly walking that back. Every time I'm like, Carter, she's like, we're not agreeing. We haven't agreed on it yet.
Are you guys done after this one? Or you think you'll have more?
I'm done. She wants one more, but I'm done.
You don't want to try one more for a boy?
No, yeah, I don't.
I told you
because it's not gonna.
I told you. I know who wears the pants in your fucking family.
No,
and it's Aaron. You can say that it's you all you want. It's fucking Aaron. I know it's Aaron.
I'm a man, dude. When it comes to a vagina, it's hard to say no. When she's standing there like, hey, do you want this warmth up on your schnuts? What am I supposed to say? No, get away from me, devil woman.
Do you think that I wanted 5 kids? It wasn't me. It was my wife. I got outvoted. I don't know how you get outvoted with 1 versus 1, but I got outvoted.
I am a red-blooded male. Like, there's a vagina, when my wife
now is being
vagina
sexist.
At me, of course, it's going to be like, let's fucking go, But what am I supposed to do at that point? And I'm not going to wear a fucking rubber because it just doesn't feel the same. I don't care what you say. Wear it so you don't get STDs unless you're, whatever. We're not going to that, aspect of it. But like, nah, dude, I can't control. The only way I can do is get snipped. And I don't really want to do that to my boys. I know you did it, but I'm like, don't know
Yeah,
if I want
because
to
I
do
had
that.
5 kids. If I had a
Yeah,
6th
well,
kid, I'd be fucking. Oh
I don't
my
want
gosh, dude.
kids at 40, and the way it's going right now, like if we have another one, it would be 40.
How old are you
and I'm
now?
like,
You're my
fuck,
age, right? We're
38.
both the
Yeah,
same age.
I just turned 38. I don't want to go having kids at 40, man.
I told Anna.
Especially so close in age, man, because there's gonna be almost 2 years
That is
between the 2
tough, man.
kids.
Because there's one thing with mine. Kaylin is 11, and Taylor and Livy are 4 and 2. Livy's about to turn 3 in early July. And the only saving grace for having those 2 little girls is the fact that Kaylin has been here to help. You guys, it's just the 2 of you. And as soon as they outnumber you, and if they're all going to be under the age of 5, that's fucking tough.
I hear it's nice though, because like then the older one will start taking care of the younger one, and so
yeah, but if you have it before you're 40,
fix itself out. Well, I'm not. There's no way, because for her to wait a year, it would put me at 40. Like I'll be going on 39 when the baby's due in December.
How old's Aaron?
Aaron's 38.
Oh, she's the same age as you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I told Anna, I said, she told me when we were engaged, she's like, I want a big family. And I said, that's fine. If you want a big I come from a family of 4 kids. She comes from a family of 5 kids. So I said, that's fine. Like you are super mom, like you want a big family, that's fine. But I will not have any more kids after my 36th birthday. And what did I do on my 36th birthday? Got snipped on my birthday, dude. So I went to my birthday dinner.
They don't take care of the younger ones.
The Dugars, isn't the oldest one like a pedophile?
Yes.
See, we were supposed to have a 12-year-old. Yes.
That's true.
I wish I met her. I wish I met her.
But still, fucking to have a 2-year-old and a newborn is gonna be rough.
It's not. It's really, because you got to think, dude. Like for the first 8 months, a lot of their supervision, I guess, like not supervision, that's not the word, but a lot of it comes from the mother, right? The mother is super active in those first 6 to 8 months. And so you're going to have that's what was cool. When Lex came around, I was able to bond so much with William, like, because she was she was nursing Lex and doing all these things that I was able to bond. So it's going to be you and Logan bonding, and then she's going to be taking care of the new one, whatever you guys name it. And of course, I'm not saying you're going to be absentee, but it's going to be, a lot of that comes from her.
I'm the most involved absentee father you'll ever meet. Because I try to stay out of the way as much as possible, but I'm still very involved.
Well, I think the fact of the matter, and we can both agree to this, men are stupid. So I find out something new every day about how to take care of my kids. No, because your wife will tell you. They will make sure that you are the dumbest person on the planet when it comes to child rearing. Every day, dude. Don't do that with the kids. That's not healthy. If I say something to them or yell at them or something. Every day, I'm told. I have 5 kids and I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah. I don't know. This took a war, on this episode of the Parenting Podcast.
Aaron, I fully support your idea to have a big family, if that's what you want. But
I don't.
I'm also not the one giving them to you, so you're going to have to get Matt on board. If you want a couple of mine, you can take them. We can run a loaner program. Maybe you guys can do a better job with some of them than I have.
I mean, my back clicks every time I pick Logan up already, and she's only 30 pounds. And Jesus Christ, how am I going to do this again?
Dude, I have back pain. I'm fat. My hair fell out. I blame all this on my kids. I was a healthy motherfucker, dude, before I had kids.
What are you going to do, though? But appreciate you. The congratulations, Zaggy. Good to know that you're on Instagram under your real name. I like it that way.
Aaron, she says, I may change my mind after this one. Never know. You're not.
No, she's not.
Dude, I have 5. And Anna says, hey, you get a time limit when you hold babies. Because every time I hold a baby, I'm like, hey, let's have another one. Which involves me. I would have to go to the doctor, get things reversed. That's not going to happen. But that
Are you
baby,
choking?
Huh?
Oh no, she just said.
Oh, now you're discussing names.
I
like Riley. I don't know if I like that spelling though. I know that that's unique spelling, but I think when you come to I like the Riley, just simple spelling, but not my kid. You guys can do whatever you want. I think Carter's a good ass name, man. I just don't know if I'd steer towards the Carter Sky. I put a buffer in there.
Elizabeth Sky. Yeah,
that's
Elizabeth
what I'm saying.
Would be the buffer.
Put the buffer in there. So she can go Elizabeth Sky or Carter Elizabeth, but
see,
don't
people
do Carter Sky.
People do the whole like, oh, all my kids gotta have names start with L's. All mine have 2 middle names. What's up?
Yeah, I love it. I think that's a beautiful name.
And every time they have to write their name, they're like, God, motherfucker. My parents give me such a long name. I'll smile in my grave.
See, but then she would just put Carter and then would just say middle initial. Would you put ES for 2 initials?
You could, or you have to write it out. They're going to have to write. I'm going to make them write it out every time. Write it out. Write it out. But
see, I think Aaron, when you go into the unique spellings, then you're like one of those crunchy moms that I talk about all the time. I think if you're just going to name your kid, just Ryan if you want Ryan.
But Logan is a fucking beautiful, smart, very spicy child.
Oh, Logan's adorable.
So I obviously have done something right. So we've done something right so far.
I just wish when I saw her, she'd let me hold her more.
Yeah, well,
that girl wants nothing to do with me. Like every time I see her. And all I want to do is hold the baby. Like that's all I want.
It's not personal. She's like that with most people.
So. I know she is. I just, I see you basically. We talk maybe 3 times a week. We have the show. I feel like I'm like you're a part of my family. I'm a part of yours, and your daughter will not let me hold her.
She doesn't talk to you though.
I understand, Aaron. Whatever you name your baby.
Tell me what your secret is, Joe, to make your fucking boys make boys, because I need to fucking figure that out.
And it's not an indictment on you. And I'm going to get kind of graphic here. I heard that when women get pregnant with boys is because they orgasmed.
That's not true.
That's what I've heard.
That's not true.
I don't know, man.
I've heard that too. Like, girls happen with late ovulation because the girl's sperms live longer and da 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 da.
I think it's.
I've also heard
just the luck of the draw, dude.
My buddy Bass also tells me that when you have a girl, it's because it means you have a massive dick and it hooks to the left when you're fucking, and because dudes who make boys have straight dicks because they're small. And if you make girls, it's because you have a massive one that hooks to the left when you're pounding.
But we're both large boys, so we know that our girth is not as good as it could be if we were thinner.
So, it's just like there's so many theories out there by what happens, man. I'm gonna go with the large dick one that curves to the left when you're fucking.
All I know is that when I had my 2 boys, it's when I was at my thinnest. That's all I know. So I'm just saying. I got deeper in there, I guess.
Male sperm were fucking too out of breath and looking for a bucket of fucking chicken before they.
We're gonna get so fucking canceled, dude. I don't know what offends people anymore.
Keep making excuses for not making boys. Yeah, I could say something that's really offensive that my buddy said to me when I said,
"Don't say it. Tell me after." Just hold it. I really like this podcast.
I'm saying, man.
Dude, how do we not do any geek news? We talk about 2 movies and we still have a 2.5 hour show.
Because we fucking went into the secret life of nerd parenting. The fucking show
We're
we should start, The
incapable.
Secret Life of Nerd
We're
Parenting.
incapable of not having a 2.5 hour show. This is why
Man,
people don't want to do our podcast
Dude,
with
the
us.
last 34 minutes, we've just been talking about baby shit. Like, I don't know.
We're incapable, man.
She's saying that supposedly girl sperm are slower but can withstand the harsh environment in there for longer. Boy sperms are faster but don't live as long in there. Yeah, well, mine are probably like squirrel and fucking go off, or mine are fucking out of breath after 5 steps. Keep making excuses for not making boys. Dude, if it means that I get to sit here and say I have a big dick that curves to the left when I'm fucking, I'll go with it. Fuck it. That's not the case, but
is there more women on this planet or men?
I don't fucking know. How do you know anymore? In 2023, how do we know anymore?
I'm saying biologically.
How do you know anymore?
But when you're born, they record the sex of your birth. So like biologically.
Right, I'm just joking. Well,
yes, you're absolutely right.
How dare you assume the gender of a child?
Because in
2023. Yes, I was trying to keep your ovulation out of this, dear. Thank you for that.
I'm not going to get into that conversation.
Now you're all right, dude. I was leading to what my buddy told me, and that fucking made me laugh.
So. All right, close up the show so I can hear this.
All right, well, I want to thank everyone for sitting through our little bit of geek news at the beginning, our reviews of Into the Spider-Verse and the final episode, ? Of Ted Lasso, as well as Nerd Parenting 101. The last 30 minutes of the show. I hope you got something out of it. Surprisingly enough, there's people that have hit me up that say, I like that you guys talk about this shit. I'm a nerd parent. I want my kids to grow up in this. I'm trying to connect with them. The shit you guys talk about help me do that, blah, 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 whatever.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate that 100%.
We're nearly 30.
But
we're nearly 40.
It's just like, dude, like, fucking hey, man, I'll talk about my kid all fucking day. And she's the best thing I've ever done. So
Logan's awesome.
And when she's on the top of the Billboard 100, fucking shaking her ass on stage, I'll be, 1, 2, 3. Oh man, I love her so much. 4, 5, 6,000, 8,000. Just like Taylor Swift's parents, right? But my kid loves music. She loves to sing. She loves to dance. She's gonna take the world by storm, man.
You saw the video of my daughter singing at her little thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know Aaron saw it. My daughter's in piano and voice. My son is in guitar, and my other son is in voice. We're about to buy him a guitar so he can be in guitar and voice.
Yeah, I want to get Logan a guitar. I'm just trying to decide if I want to do it this Christmas or next.
Yeah, she would obviously need a much smaller one.
Yeah.
Check out Nellis Auction. I got William a $30 Fender student guitar, or it's a $300 Fender student guitar. I got it for $30.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I just, support my kid, man. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to listen, we live in a time now where and I say this like every fucking kid thinks that they should get a participation trophy and shit. My kid ain't going to get that. I'll throw that shit away. No. I'm going to raise fucking savages. So when this generation grows up and all these kids are whining about not getting something and feeling like they're owed something, my kids are going to fucking work for it and just rule the world because they're going to be some little fucking savages.
So here's the thing, Joe. So Joe's doing says just get a ukulele. Chords are different. They're very I play guitar. Ukulele is kind of tough because it's a different instrument. Different tuning, string, everything about it's different. So that's your little music tidbit. But yeah, dude, I agree with you. Like, just make sure as Logan gets older, that you just foster it. Like, because that's a big thing. Like, my daughter showed a musical interest, and then when it came time to her actually being old enough to take piano and voice lessons and stuff, she thought, I don't need voice lessons. I'm the greatest singer in the world. And I'm like, no, you're not. So just make sure to foster it, dude.
I'm gonna make sure my kid can play Purple Haze. Joe's doing just for you. At 2 years old, she's gonna learn how to play Purple Haze.
Not on a uke.
Absolutely no stairway. That's gonna be a big fucking thing sign above in my house. Absolutely no stairway. No, I don't know. I don't care what my kid wants to be, man. I'll support her whatever she wants, but
yeah, just try to just foster those things when they show interest in something.
Dude, here's how my kid fucking amazes me, dude. She's only 1 year old. She's 1 year old. She's fucking almost 17 months old. She's sitting here spelling Mickey Mouse the other day, only because she doesn't know what she's doing, but she's singing the theme song to Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Yeah, and they spell it.
Yeah, so she's spelling Mickey Mouse, and I'm just like, Aaron's like, did she just fucking spell Mickey? And I was like, yes, she did. So,
it's awesome. Like your first one, because and I think I figured this out. Like your first one, they're spending so much time with you, right? That it's amazing, because Kaylin was really progressed too. Like she crawled at like 4 months or 5 months or something. Like she was crawling really early, like speaking really early. And I think it's because they spend so much time with you as adults. But the other 4 didn't show the same amount of progression that she did. And I think it's because now, like, yeah, they are spending a lot of time with you, but now they have an older sibling that's, I don't know what it is, but I've noticed that in multiple families. It seems like the firstborn,
they just progressively get dumber.
No, Olivia's really smart. Like,
because all it's like just like you're diluting it. All of your greatness was passed the first time, and then they just progressively get dumber because you're diluting it. The further down the further you go.
Well, you know that boys dilute that shit pretty early, so
yeah.
But all right, dude.
Multiplicity effect, yes. But
all right, so I guess next week we're gonna talk Flash.
Yeah, and probably Transformers, because I'm gonna try and go see that tomorrow. So, I'm gonna take my big penis that hooks to the left and makes girls on into the sunset.
I want to get Aaron's feedback on this big penis.
But yeah, next week we'll talk Flash, Transformers, maybe a little bit of geek news, and hopefully we won't. If
something happens,
hopefully we won't have as much baby talk. I don't know.
Yeah, but in July, a lot of geek news, right?
Yes, in July, probably a lot of geek news. I will drag that hog off into the sunset, Joe. Absolutely. I'm going to drag it all the way to fucking SNS tomorrow night, where I just slam that motherfucker on the table and get ready to do another show tomorrow
I'm
night.
hoping Aaron gets more than just a drag.
It's fucking so big, she's got a wheelbarrow behind me, bro. That's all I'm saying. Fucking hooks to the left. Just matches my fucking tee shot.
We're so fucking stupid, dude.
Maybe that's why people don't want to just. Maybe that's why people just want to use this show to fucking learn how to podcast and then bail out. But what are you gonna do?
Remember, consistency, loyalty. What was the other thing I said?
Having a big dick that hooks to the left.
Big dick. Oh, I guess I'm off this podcast.
Yeah.
All right, man. Close.
Lance, it will measure. He's in charge of measuring, so be prepared. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. But that'll do it for this week. Guys, come check out tomorrow night right back here for Saturday Night Special, where I guarantee you we'll cover more geek stuff, comic books related stuff, than less baby talk. Man. Less baby talk. So come hang out tomorrow night with me, Kyle, and the boys on SNS.
Dude, Sam got second place in Italy.
He did. He's going to talk all about it tomorrow night, man. So come check that out. Joe's Doolin says consistency, loyalty, integrity, and toughness. There you go. And a big hog.
And belief.
Belief and a big hog that hooks to the left. And we'll see you guys next week.
Are you trying to play the video?
All you freaks and geeks.
What the fuck happened?
Come all you
I'm playing the video.
Geeks.
Let's listen to
I thought someone stole our
Absolute
videos.
Geek.
Absolute Geek.
We'll go ahead and spread our cheeks
Spread the
Spread
cheeks.
and
cheeks.
drink
And
some
we're for
Cosby wine.
We'll
Come
drink
on,
some
you
Cosby wine. It makes me feel real fine. See you next time.